What's up, everybody? It is cwilyt back here with another race reaction, and today we're going to go back in time and watch the Miller Genuine Draft 400 at Richmond. This was 1993, the second race at Richmond of that season, and I'm looking forward to this. I watched the 1993 Pontiac Excitement 400 at Richmond, which was the first race that NASCAR had at Richmond that year. I've already watched that, and that was won by Davey Allison. If I'm correct, that was Allison's last career win. But today we're going to be looking at and checking out this race, seeing what happened in it, and afterwards we'll look at the race results and see who finished where. So I'm looking forward to this. I hope y'all are as well. I got my Jeff Gordon shirt on today. This is from 1994, and then I have the NASCAR 2000 hat, one of my favorite NASCAR hats. So this is gonna be a fun video. I always enjoy doing these race reactions, and I know that y'all do as well. So let's go ahead and get right into this, shall we?
At Richmond International Raceway.
Okay, so it's broadcast by TBS.
Annual Miller 400.
And this video was uploaded by Michael McIntyre.
Every seat last April, waiting for this hour. And the man of the hour, Mark Martin, standing by with Dick Bergman.
Mark Martin, 4 in a row. Can you make it 5?
We really feel good about it.
Yeah, this is the year Mark Martin on a.
We couldn't be happier. We're sure looking forward to going racing.
Yeah, he was on a tear at the end of '93.
It's not where you start that counts. It's where you.
He won like. I remember watching the Bristol race from '93, and he won that one. Very impressive win. He was really strong at the end of '93, but so was Rusty Wallace. He was really strong in '93 too. So
300 miles tonight under the lights here at Richmond. Hi everybody, I'm Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Communication Center. Great to have you with us tonight. We'll be describing all the stories throughout the evening of racing here at Richmond.
Never heard of Rick
Let's
Benjamin
take a look at our
before.
Chevrolet course description. Give it a little closer picture of what the track here at Richmond is all about. It is 3/4 of a mile. It is D-shaped since the track was rebuilt several seasons ago. On the backstretch, 2 degrees of banking to give the cars a little help going into turn 3. The front stretch,
I like Richmond, even though it's not provided great racing over the last couple years. I really do like Richmond. Let me know your thoughts on the track down below or in the
Beautiful
section.
night for racing, as we mentioned. 74 degrees as we get ready to put this one under green tonight.
Yeah, but Richmond in the 90s is always fun to watch.
Barely a wind north out of 5 miles an hour, and the skies are perfectly clear tonight. Temperature may be a factor
Looks like
a little
the
later
22
because
cars
it
on
could
the
cool
pole
off
and the
into
28
50s,
beside
and that
him.
might provide these teams with a little different situation. The first real race of the fall
22,
season,
if I
when the temperatures
believe,
will be quite a bit
was
cooler.
either Sterling
Describe all the
Marlin or
action,
Terry
Mark Martin's
Labonte
bid
in
for 5 in a
93.
row. Let's send it back upstairs to Ken Squire and Neil Bonnet.
Neil, so many stories.
Oh, we got in-car view of the Bojangles 98.
Right now, 36 strong.
I think it's Dick Triple in the 98, either him or Jimmy Spencer.
On the pole since Davey Allison of several years.
Neil Bonnet.
And you've got Ernie Irvin along.
Very underrated driver.
Davey Allison, the car
And a
that
great
won the race.
person as
Irvin
well.
is in that car. After the driver changed here, he's in the 28 car. Car won the last race here. Good shot to win again tonight.
And of course, the Ernie Irvin story. He is going to be really hard to stay with. He loves this racetrack and runs it very, very well. And Bobby Labonte, he is definitely looking for a win out here tonight.
Okay, so Bobby Labonte is in the 22.
Well, Jack Roush ought to have some good ideas as to what the odds are of this thing winning. You own the car, you built the motor. How about it? What are your chances?
Oh, I think we're about 1 in 3 tonight. That's not really different than what it would have been for any one of the previous 4 races that we've won. Rusty will be really good. It's a matter of determining here after a couple of laps if the 3 cars running enough gear to really be a factor.
We'll see if they have a starting lineup. I don't know if they'll show it or not,
Okay,
but so that'd be great. So we can see where everyone's going, where everyone's starting.
Richard, I
Let's
understand
try
a
to
slight problem in the last
let everyone know which car's whose by my memory.
We were getting ready to go to the gas
Like,
pump,
you know,
put the car on the line,
I know a
and
good bit about NASCAR 90s, but not as
and,
much as some other people. But I know a lot of the drivers from the 90s. So if there's a driver y'all wondering about, there's some numbers that may not be familiar to some of y'all, then I'll let
Starting
you
lineup
know
as Bobby
who is who.
Labonte and Ernie Irvin running in row 1 for
Okay, here we
tonight's
go.
race.
We got
As we
the
look at
starting
the
lineup.
Haviland starting lineup. Going to
Oh,
row 2,
wow.
it's Rusty Wallace and Darrell
Wallace
Aldridge.
is starting third, Darrell Waltrip fourth.
And Rick Mast. Row 4 tonight, Jeff Bodine and Dale
Both Skull
Earnhardt.
cars
In
just arm
row
side each
5,
other.
it's Dick Trickle and Mark Martin.
Dick Trickle's
For row
in
6,
39.
Kyle Petty and Ken
Kyle
Schrader.
Petty's
Row
42.
7, Dale Jarrett and Derek Cope.
Yep.
Row 8,
Derek
is
Cope.
Michael
Okay, so
Waltrip
Derek
and
Cope
Brett
is in
Ryan.
98. I
Row
knew he was
9 is
driving.
Ricky Rudd and
He
Jeff
drove
Gordon.
98 at one
In
point, but I
row
forgot
10,
what
Jimmy
year.
Hensley and Rick Wilson. Row 11, Jimmy Spencer and Jeff Gordon. Row 12, Terry Labonte and
Jeff
Sterling
Gordon's starting
Martin.
pretty far
Row
back. He's starting
13,
like
Hutch
22nd.
Strickland and Bill Elliott making his
Bill
400
Elliott's
start.
starting
In row 14,
26.
Bill Parsons and Kenny Wallace. Row 15, Morgan Shepherd and Wally Dallenbach. In the
Back
16th
starting
row,
30th.
Jimmy Means and Todd Bodine. 17th row, Dave Marcus and Bobby Hillen. Outback Provisional.
Yeah, a lot of these names
Musgrave
are
and Greg
very familiar to me because I've watched
We're
a
ready
lot
to
of
get it
races
on
from the
here
90s.
tonight. As the field is coming down, they're going to take one before they turn them loose. Here's Johnny Hayes.
I think Rusty Wallace is the man to beat. Great pit crew, great pit stop, practicing well. His record here is unbelievable.
I mean, it is in the car. The car spots are Miller. So we'll see if the Miller car can win the Miller Junior Draft 400.
Crowd.
They had two. Back in the early 90s, one thing that always caught me off guard was they had two Miller Genuine Draft 400s. They had the Richmond night race and they had the Michigan race. So that used to trip me up a little bit. It doesn't trip me up anymore. But yeah, look at this. Under the lights. Look at those cars, man. That's a good shot. You see the backstretch stands completely slammed. I always like that 14 Calyx car that uses slow went by.
Richie Petty failed to qualify. Richie tore his car up pretty hard this afternoon when he bounced off the second turn wall. Down they come.
There's Jimmy Hensley on board. It's gonna be cool.
Shots from Jimmy Hensley's car is Bobby
And we're
Labonte
underway at
across the
Richmond.
stripe.
Green
We're
flag.
gonna go racing with Bobby Labonte on the pole. First pole for a rookie since Davey did it back in '87.
Wow,
And
that's an
on the
interesting
break,
stat.
everybody away clean.
Boy, Candace got the first turn. Ken Schrader got shoved way outside against the wall, but he got it back down without any problem.
Coming around to the outside. Hard to say.
Ooh,
this
Dale
name
Earnhardt
in
going
car
underneath.
48, isn't it? But there's Ernie Irvin.
Rick Mast there. Did a little bit of a crossover move.
That's something you're going to see at this racetrack. A lot of tracks we go to, it's single file, not Richmond. We've seen a lot of
It's a
side-by-side
28 car,
racing.
Ernie Irvin.
There, Irvin takes the lead from the outside.
Ernie Irvin is a really talented driver as well. He was definitely a favorite to win the championship in '94, but we know what happened with that. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's coming out to the early leader.
As you see there, Waltrip is back and forth. 3/4 mile track. Fast down into that number 1 corner.
If I were to
Hard out
guess
on
how many
number 2,
cautions there were, there's
almost
probably going to be
a
like 6 if I were to
turn
guess.
number 3. Sweeping around
Not going to be
turn
too
number
crazy.
4.
I feel like there's going to be a good bit of
They
passing.
changed that wall dramatically. The Sawyer's
Yeah, Earnhart's already
have,
working
cut
his way up.
75 feet off the wall and turned it in. So it's not nearly the danger.
He's trying to
point
get
that it
underneath
has been
Darrell
in the past.
Waltrip
They've done
for
a good job with
fourth.
that wall. There you see the battle up in
Darrell
front.
Waltrip was getting towards the end of his career. He held off Earnhardt that time on the outside lane, so that was really impressive there.
They dodged a bullet. They had a clutch problem as they got ready to put it on the line.
He is in the
and they were
bumper a little
last
bit.
car out, just a few minutes before the race started, so they dodged a big bullet.
There's Mark
Joe
Martin
Mercedes.
behind Mast, and I believe that's Jeff Bodine behind Martin.
He's going to be a factor in the race. Right up front when this one started.
Take a look at Ernie Irvin. And then right here comes Dale Earnhardt back with those leaders another time. Bobby Labonte having an excellent run in car number 22. Great qualifying effort. Take a look at
Ken Schrader in the 25, getting underneath Harry Gant. Harry Gant's lost a couple spots here early. He won, I believe he won at Richmond in 90. Yeah, he did win in 91 at Richmond. Yeah, I was about to say, won the night race. There's Derek Cup in the Bojangles 98. Cool onboard view. There's Kyle Petty in front of him in the beautiful Mel Yellow 42 car.
Yarborough's team staying right there as they follow the Kyle Petty machine down off that corner.
I mentioned this a little bit in my last race reaction, but some of y'all that watch my videos have actually like messaged me on Facebook or on Instagram and have told me that y'all were at the race that I was watching. So if you were at this race and you're watching this right now, let me know down below in the comments or message me. I think it's really cool to hear some of y'all's experiences about the racing then that you saw it in person. Now you're watching it on the broadcast version on YouTube. So, yeah, let me know.
Last week, he got himself a 14th at Darlington.
Thank y'all for tuning in, as always. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is the Sabbath set out for the lead, as we saw Bobby Labonte trying to make it on the outside.
A treacherous place off turn 2.
Okay, he's calling me now.
He just stuck it out there, stood in the throttle. Looks like he's going to make it work.
For the lead. Johnny Hayes says, watch Wallace, watch him.
Yeah, Labonte's holding pretty strong on the outside lane.
Of car number 2, the Penske Pontiac, right in the midst of things.
You know, if Johnny Hayes is right, we'll never do the end of it. Boy, I tell you, look at the 22 car.
And he took the lead too, so very impressive move on the outside lane by Bobby Labonte in the 22. He was a rookie at the time, and then Rusty Wallace also got by Ernie Irvin on the outside lane. And Wallace with a huge run off of turn 2, almost got to the outside, but got squeezed off. There's Mark Martin, who is looking for another win. He's getting to the inside of Dale Earnhardt.
You're there going down. You got a big sweeping turn down in turn 1. You can run side by side. They're coming off this corner. As they make this exit the corner, it really gets tight.
On board with Mark Martin, the Pyro car, Pyro camera swings back.
He's now So all the top 6 is basically close together. Still, they're all very close. This is pretty good. Labonte's lost a couple spots now. Irvin got back by him, and then it seems like the outside lane is the way to go early in this race, which is surprising because for many years Richmond, we saw Richmond was mainly an inside lane track, like a 1 lane on the bottom. But here in the as we watched like a couple races at Richmond in the 80s and going on to the early 90s, the outside lane became more of a factor, but not as much obviously as it ended up being in around the 2010s, where the outside lane and the inside lane is about equal. But you can see here that the outside lane has actually been working really well for some of these guys so far.
A little further back in 8th, it's Schrader. 9th is Kyle Petty. 10th is Rick Mass. And 11th is Harry Gant. More from Richmond in a moment.
So Harry Gant fell down. I think they said, no, not Harry Gant. Rick Mass fell down the 10th.
By Havoline Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By Western Auto, the official auto parts and service
sponsor of Darrell Waltrip
by
back then.
Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud.
An incredible sunset scene from Airship Shamu tonight, provided by SeaWorld here at Richmond, Virginia. Welcome back to live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 400 on TBS. Great to have you with us here tonight as we watch quite a battle behind leader Rusty Wallace. The race for second, Darrell Waltrip on the outside of Ernie Irvin there.
Oh, look at that. As I was saying, the outside lane's been working better so far early on this race. I'm sure that's tonight because the cooler that we'll see both lanes, and we'll see maybe different strategy, but Darrell Waltrip just flew by him on the outside.
$50,000 end of the season payoff. Dale Earnhardt is the end of the season leader right now by a good margin over Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace. We'll keep track of that battle for you tonight. There'll be $5,000 on the line for the top 5 finishers here at Richmond.
Coming around a complete 24 laps as you look at this battle.
It's 24-400. Mark Martin's now moved his way into 4th.
Stays right in front of Ernie Irvin in the number 28. Here's Irvin trying to take it back as he ducks low in turn number 1. You're watching it live on TBS from Richmond International Raceway, the Miller 400.
You know, a lot of racetracks, we talked about that inside line or a shorter track like this. That inside is preferred line, but we're seeing guys pass on that outside.
You see how far he's turning the wheel, too. Even down the front stretch, he has the wheel turned to the left.
That's the way most of the passing's been done.
Here he comes, scooting down into turn number 1, critical part of the track. Irvin takes it low. At Ford stays down, as does Mark Martin. Here he comes, kicking it back again in the back straightaway, up to about 165 miles an hour. Eases it down into turn 3, averaging about 120 miles per hour per lap.
Yeah, I mean, the Richmond races would go by sort of fast if there wasn't any cautions. I think there was like one race that I looked up one time. It was either in the 90s or late 80s at Richmond. They only had like 3 cautions and it was pretty quick. So it was like just like 2 hours flat, I think, or just above 2 hours. So
Again, this has always been a good racetrack for Rusty Wallace. And
without like with taking the commercials out, we obviously saw like how much this video would probably end up being, but without with added commercials like the entire thing, I think some probably upload the raw satellite feed on YouTube. Smith TV usually does that, so that version would probably be like 3 hours. But it also depends how many cautions there are, so we don't know that. So that's why we're watching it live. We're watching it. You know, I haven't seen this race before, so very intriguing me. As the Jeff O'Dowd run Earnhardt up high there, and there's Kyle Petty about to go underneath the spout for 6.
Interesting statement. He said there are 3 kinds
I like all the old signage, or not old signage. At the time it wasn't old, but the signage that they had in 3 and 4, I think that's pretty cool.
And then there's the rest of them.
Yeah, they put a lot of confidence.
And for that, just a quick discussion topic. For those watching, what's your favorite era of NASCAR, favorite decade of NASCAR? Let me know in the chat or in the comments down below. I'd be really interested in hearing your thoughts on that. I've kind of talked about it in other videos, but I mean, it's kind of hard for me to choose a favorite era. It really is, because the 90s was really fun to watch. 80s definitely really was too. And the 70s, I've been watching some more races from the 70s recently. If you haven't yet, go check out my Martinsville reaction I did earlier.
So we'll see a couple of minor adjustments for Dale. It's not a big problem early on, I don't think.
Okay, so they're talking about adjustments for Dale Earnhardt.
Kyle Petty and having a good run. Let's take a look up front. As they come around a complete lap 32, there you see Rusty Wallace. And take a look at this interval. I think it's shortening up here. There you see Wallace out in front. The 89 Winston Cup champion. And we'll get a chance to look a little further back here and see how they're doing in trying to collect him. And indeed, Waltrip is running Wallace down.
Yeah, Waltrip's been really fast over the long run. Early on in the race, obviously, he started up high, but he's been making passes on the outside lane. Irvin's trying to get back underneath him, though.
On the racetrack, that will help you keep the tires out of the car. Tires should work better longer if he can run that longer line around and not really spin them up off the corner.
And that's so critical on this racetrack. Getting those 2 little black patches hitched up to this asphalt is the trickiest part of a lot of tracks, but it's absolutely critical here at Richmond. And look at Ernie Irvan take a swipe on the inside, run out of room as Waltrip on that high line. Those RPMs peak right up there.
I wonder where Jeff Gordon is. I mean, Wallace is now starting to lap cars, but it'd be cool to get full leaderboard update, but, you know, then they didn't always do that very often. I think that's 52, Jimmy Means, all black car.
I've always done good at this track. I won this race last time. A couple wins, a lot of seconds and thirds and stuff like that, and hey, the weather's perfect today, too. It's great weather for a race.
And another point I want to bring up, so the 1992 night race they had, the program for that had Wallace on it. And I actually have that program during a break in the action. I probably could show you all that program. Maybe. We'll see. I don't have it out. I have it hidden away because I like to collect programs, but I don't keep them out in the open. And then the 93 race, which I've seen a program for this race before, and it had Wallace on it as well. So, hey, interesting, he had the same driver 2 years in a row back to back on the front of the cover.
We came in that they're still having this one problem with the arterial system. You're getting cars in and out. You know, they say Virginia's for lovers. It's a little hard on folks trying to get in and out of the racetrack. But one thing the track has done has gone to buses. I have never seen so many buses at a track of this size. I don't think any Winston Cup races we've seen here in Richmond tonight.
Ken, we've got great racing facilities, and I think the promoters, just like the Sawyers here, are really catering to these fans, trying to get them in and out. They want to see good racing, but they also want to be able to get in and out good. And talk about some good racing. Waltrip has taken advantage of that outside and he's really closing in on Rusty right now.
Yeah, I saw this video today. I don't know if y'all want to check this out, but it's pretty crazy. Someone sent me this. There's a guy named Chuckless Garage on YouTube, and he was running at high speed, and he fell 170 feet off of a cliff and survived. It's unbelievable, like how he survived that. And he was in this truck, and it was absolutely like destroyed. But as we see here, we got Darrell Waltrip catching Wallace for the lead.
Waltrip, a four-time winner of this event. Wallace won it twice and is defending champion in the Miller 400 at Richmond International Raceway. Meanwhile, 2 laps
Pit stops. It's Morgan Shepherd.
Morgan Shepherd socked the wall.
Morgan Shepherd won at Atlanta in 1993.
Flew all the way down the back stretch. He cut across the track, got back in. Look at this battle for the lead continue. Here's Waltrip looking as stout and strong as we've seen him this year.
You know, we saw Waltrip running that high
it's
line.
It's a good battle.
And the minute Waltrip caught Rusty
thing
Wallace,
is Bobby
he took
Dillon
that
in front of them
to try to take that part of the track away. The question is, can Waltrip use the other section and make the pass?
So I like the camera work they've been doing, all the different camera angles, like obviously the grandstand view, the top view, near spotter stand probably at the time. I know that we just saw the one from the flag stand, so a lot of great camera work in this race. Shout out to the camera people. And for those that follow me, I'm getting started, or the last few years I've been doing camera work and video, photos. Still working on my craft, still improve. Worked my first credentialed event at Darlington earlier this year, and that was so fun.
There you see some of that struggle. There's Terry Labonte in the 14. Boy, you know, coming to North Wilkesboro.
Jeff Gordon. I wonder if he's a lap down or on the lead lap.
Billy Hagan will have 2 cars there. He's going to
if he's on the lead lap, then that means Bobby Labonte just fell back like crazy. Just Dale Earnhardt.
They're going to get him out for the remainder of the season. I guess Phoenix is still in question, but you'll see 2 Billy Hagan cars at North Wilkesboro. One still driven by Terry Labonte.
I always liked that 22 Maxwell House car. I thought it was really cool. I have a diecast of it.
Stick it out and try to make it go in Winston Cup racing. Look at this battle between the 22. Fighting his own way, and the rookie, leading rookie, Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon on
and
the
Gordon
inside,
will make the pass.
Give him 9th and move Bobby Labonte back to 10th on your score sheet as you've completed 51 laps now are in the book.
Still a long ways to go. Anything can happen.
Go behind the wall. It's like he blew a tire going in turn 1. Hit the wall hard and lock up the right front brake. They've got to take it to the garage and try to correct that problem.
I was surprised NASCAR didn't throw a caution on that because he really bounced off the wall. And you could see I was afraid there might be some parts out there would be tearing up some tires, but that's not the case. Good call by them.
Plenty of sparks. It looked like it could have been something there, but evidently did not have a problem with it because it had a lot of
it looks like Wallace has extended his lead again. He's just so strong in the outside lane. It's crazy that the outside lane's been the way to go so far. I didn't expect that.
Brett Bodine and that 26-inch Schrader on the outside. Schrader, the man who holds the track record at a little over 123 miles per hour.
Wow, I did not know he had the track record.
Trying to close in on Earnhardt.
Still Darren 18. The first year with Joe Gibbs Racing.
Brett Bodine down on the bottom, and he's about to scoot through and try to set Earnhardt down another step.
Actually, I'm wrong. What am I saying? The first year for Joe Gibbs Racing was 92. I'm tripping. But Dale Jarrett won his first race with them in 93. What am I saying? Even the historians mess up sometimes. No one's perfect. I mess up with some things. Like I'm still learning. Obviously, as I mentioned before, there's some things that I don't know about as much about NASCAR as other things. Like I can remember like who wins races from certain years, but sometimes I just don't remember every single driver and car. Like that's just the way it is. I feel like that'd be kind of impossible to remember every single driver in NASCAR and every single car like they raced and who were the car owners were. So here comes Waltrip though underneath.
Bobby Hillin moving over.
That's Bobby Hillin in the 90s. He's going for the lead.
Again, this could be the chance which way
He's
he
going
goes.
to try to use the
There's
lap
the
car as a
17
pick.
gonna get
Yeah,
that
it looks like
inside
he
lane.
will. And there's Mark Martin in
Give him
third.
the
He's
lead right
gaining
here.
on the front two.
And Mark Martin
Got a
could
three-car
come
battle
with
for the lead.
Wide enough down the
I think in
center
front of them's
straightaway.
the
Nicely
16 of
back just
Dallenbach,
over window number 1.
who is teammates with Mark
And you're on
Martin
board with Bobby
at the
Hill
time.
in the Heilig Myers car.
Really cool
And we've got trouble down in turn
onboard.
number 1.
Uh-oh, Ernie Irvin.
blew
So
it.
Irvin, who was a favorite to win early in the race, has a problem.
Brings out the first caution of the race at lap 57.
All right, so we have a caution.
Car that
I wonder what happened to him. Maybe he's injury related. Who knows?
Who was running in 4th position at the time. Smolders won, and they're going to roll him onto pit road.
That's a big change, big turn of events.
Car on that lap. Ernie Irvin going into turn 1 as he stepped up the throttle. The engine went away.
Okay, so it was an engine. Okay, that's what I thought.
That thing's history.
Yellow
Got
is
to the
out,
garage
and Johnny
quick.
Hayes will try to get a word with him or get him over to Rick Benjamin. That's the end of the day for that Robert Yates team.
Yeah, and he's the first car out too, if I believe. So that'll put him last. Pit stops, people. We got pit stops. So you get out first.
Coming in. Waltrip, Martin, Wallace,
See
Petty,
who's cruised the
Jeff
fastest
Bodine,
so
Ricky
far.
Rudd, Terry Labonte, Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Brett, the whole tribe's all.
I always liked how some of the tracks had the victory lane, like right outside the pit road wall, like in the grass. I always thought that's
The lead
cool.
lap came in, 1 lap down,
It's for
stayed
some
out.
tracks, not all of them.
Here's where Rusty was.
If
Not
it's
only
for all of
was
them,
the
then
car
no.
fast
I mean,
on the
it just
racetrack,
wouldn't be
this is
possible.
where they've been beating everybody to death in the pits.
I guess it's standard logic.
Got it down
All right,
to 1
Wallace is out.
Some 2. Here's Mark Martin coming out.
Oh, Wallace got out before Martin.
17.7 on Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, that camera angle, you can just see how fast they're going out pit road. No, it doesn't look as fast from up top. On the towers, we got Daryl Waltrip in the lead again. He got off first.
Yeah, you got to work so hard. We saw Waltrip run him down.
Oh, we got a tire.
Wheel came off, so
Loose.
hit it, knocked it down pit road.
Wonder who's that's from.
Going all the way around the first turn.
Earnhardt lost a lot of spots on pit road. He's probably getting some adjustments on that car, some extra adjustments. Because he was losing ground. Ooh, that was close.
Meanwhile, see Bobby Hill and then Dave Marcus in those lap cars now getting worked on. And
It's Dave Marcus in the 71.
Yes, I have Ernie.
Steve Marcus raced for a long time.
I think something wrong with the motor. You know, I'm not a motor man, but it quit running for sure. And Texaco, Haviland, Ford Thunderbird was running really good and led some laps, and I thought we had a good shot at running good in long runs, and that's the way it fell. But the way it goes.
Well, you ran super, and you'll turn that around.
We will. I want to say hi to Kim. She's at home. Her and Terry's probably watching this race. We'll be ready to go to the lake tomorrow, girls.
Yeah, this is the father of a new baby. Y'all know that. Thanks.
No, we didn't know that, but we sure do now, John. Thanks a lot. Okay, Ron Williams in 93 at Talladega back in May for Ernie, but not tonight.
All right,
Night
so
racing, coming to you, night
a little bit
racing,
brief
coming to you live
moment in the
here from
action here.
Richmond, Virginia. The Rebestos aerial
I don't think we have a lead bird update, but
marvelous view
I
of
could
what
share
Winston Cup
y'all who's
racing
in the
looks
top
like
10
under
if
the
they
lights.
show.
First Grand National, now Winston Cup race under the lights was back in 1951.
I believe that's Derek
Columbia,
Cope, yep.
South Carolina. Old Rebel Mundy won that one in a Studebaker, averaging 50 miles an hour. It's considerably different. Let's get inside with Derek Cope for just a moment. Derek, Ken Squire here at TBS Control. Can you read us?
Yes, can I read it loud and clear?
How you going out there tonight? We see you're up in 15th. How's the car working?
Well, you know, at the get-go, we looked pretty good, but as we went a little farther in the run, the car got a little bit too tight for us. Right in the middle of the corner, a little bit just past the middle, and happened to fight a little bit. But we've made an adjustment now, and we'll see if we can get the motorcycle forward up for a little farther.
All right. Well, when you come by this time, you're going to be back under green. Good luck to you. 65 laps complete when they come by, and we'll be back to racing after the first caution of the day. Dick Trickle is on pit road. A black flag on him passing on pit road. Is that right? Passing the paddle. He got out there. They put up the lollipop, and he missed.
It simply says stop or go, and he hit the stop side, so they brought him back
All right,
around.
they're trying to get the field lined up for the restart.
Bobby Hill's car. As they line up on this restart. See, he is a lap car down on the inside. Cars in the lead lap up there on the outside, ready for the break. And you're riding with them as they
And
come
we are
to
back
line
green.
on the
Waltrip got a
Richmond
huge jump on that
International
restart.
Raceway.
Kyle Petty's actually in fourth now.
Nice start.
You got lap cars on the inside lane.
That was beneficial. The fact you see that kept Rusty tripped with a lap car back there. So Walter came Good jump on that start.
So Ricky Rudd back there in the tied car. He's behind the 14.
They combined to lead 312 laps of this race a year ago. Walker does run
Yeah, you see the start-finish line was farther towards turn 4 than it is now.
A lot of times here, you'll see him qualify back in the pack with a good race setup and work his way to the front. As well as he qualifies, the light goes on the wall.
For those tuning in and watching, thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and thank you for tuning in. If you have any race reaction suggestions, let me know in the comments or in the chat. If seeing what races you all would like me to react to next.
Take a look at the Napa running order.
Oh, here we go. We got leaderboard. Jeff Bodine in 5th. He's been working his way up.
Your leaders going down into turn 3.
Jeff Bodine. Terry Labonte was in the 14. I mixed up earlier in the reaction. I was like, I thought Terry Labonte was in 22, but it was actually Bobby. I knew Bobby drove to 22. I just didn't remember what year, but 93. Jeff Gordon's moved his way close to the top 10. Bill Elliott's worked his way up to 16th. Earnhardt's down to 20th. Hutch Strickland's moved up to 24th. Hansley started like back in 30th or so. He's now up 22nd. Rick Mast, he's been struggling. He's in 26th. Yep, and Irvin is the first car out of the race.
Neil Bonnet, Ken Squire, top side.
Morgan Shepherd must be behind the wall or something, but they didn't say he was out. He did have some issue. So the top 3 are pulling away here of Wallace, Waltrip, and Martin. Martin's trying to get underneath Waltrip for second. But Waltrip's been pretty strong on the outside lane, so I wouldn't be surprised if Waltrip is will hold him off as Ted Musgrave's trying to get by Ken Schrader.
You see Jimmy Spencer right there in the 12.
Here's the Meineke car, the 12, Jimmy Spencer.
Here at all. They had to take the provisional. And 12, the Bobby Allison car is smoking. Jimmy Spencer's car up on the outside. Look at this battle.
Martin had a better run that time, better lap than Waltrip. Waltrip sides high. Martin's, wow, I thought he was going to make the pass there and clear him, but no, still side by side.
Did you see that 6 jump when he stood on the
Yeah, really good battles so far in this race.
You really work the car over more on that inside. Jumping on that throttle, abusing those tires, that 6, stopping off that corner.
He's stomping on it, and he's getting a...
Right now, though, it looks like Wallace has the fastest car. But then again, still early in this race, we'll see what happens.
Mark Martin now in second position and chasing Rusty Wallace down the back straightaway into 3. Dramatic figure. Pyro camera here in that Mark Martin car. Remember,
Martin is on the move.
record of 5 wins in a row. The last time.
And look how far he's turning the wheel too in the corners. He looks very comfortable in there, despite probably all the work he's putting in. Obviously, he looks pretty comfortable inside that car.
Nobody's ever made it 5. That's what Martin is trying to do here tonight. If he can keep this thing running.
Yeah, you saw the flag stand there, really close to turn 4 compared to what it is now. They end up moving. I forgot what year they moved it farther on down the track. Right now they're getting the race record is 104. I did not know that. Okay, so I need to look up what year that was that had the race record. I'm sure that's probably been broken by now.
Richmond. That's where Mark Martin started tonight.
Okay, let's go down to Randy in the pits to see if he's found out what this problem is with Earnhardt.
Well, I'll tell you guys, Earnhardt, we knew we had a problem before the car was pushing. What they decided to do was go ahead and put a rubber in the right rear, stiffen that right rear up a little bit, so they could drive it through the corners. They didn't want the race to come to them because, frankly, they were not too far from going a lap down, probably another 30 laps or so. So they stiffened up the right rear, put one of these rubbers in, give Earnhardt a little bit of freedom so he could drive that race car. And I talked to Will Lynn, one of the crew members. He said it's doing a little better. He's picked up about 7 more spots. So a rubber on the right rear for Earnhardt,
he seems to be faster now. He's making passes on the outside lane. Bill Elliott, I'll tell you what, Bill Elliott's been on the move though. He started like back in like almost 30th, and he's moved his way towards the top 10. And Bill Elliott driving the 11 Junior Johnson car, only won 1 race with them in '93. That was the Southern 500. Bill Elliott was really good in '92, had a fantastic season, but couldn't win the championship and ended up falling short. He finished second to Alan Kowicki. And Bill
I see
Elliott
right
is.
there behind Earnhardt.
Most people at
really,
the time probably
if
think,
anyone
oh,
needs
you'd
to
win
get up
more,
and mix up
win
Elliott, their
a lot of
really
races in
strong,
'93
so
like
they'll try to get
'92,
to
but
the
he
front.
didn't.
That battle is about
He
6
struggled.
seconds
So
back from the leader.
he ended up leaving Junior Johnson's team
So,
after
we'll take a quick
'93,
break
if I'm
here
correct, and
from the
then
Richmond
moved on. I think
Raceway.
Jeff Bodine
Join
ended
us
up
as
going
the
to
airships
11 in
get
'94.
moved Here at Richmond International Raceway. Watching the
That's,
whale
yeah,
alert.
80 laps complete. Oh, we got a wreck while
As
we
you
were
see,
gone.
we're under caution again. We're completing lap 63.
Jimmy
But back
Spencer
on lap
appears.
60, the two-time national modified champion.
Oh,
Jimmy
no.
Spencer out of Berwick,
Oh, he's not
Pennsylvania,
happy.
climbing out of his car and not happy as he gets out. He's okay.
Huh.
I think they dragged him out. He didn't
At
like
first,
to
I
be
thought he was
dragged.
injured. I was like, oh no,
Anyway,
and then
he's
he's
away
just
from
on the
the
ground.
car.
But
Let's
maybe
take a
he
look at
fell
what
out of the
happened
car.
this
I
time
don't
in
know.
turn number 2.
But
Remember, we said that
that
car
was
had been
odd.
smoking some?
Yeah, just got the
what's
tail
right
end of
here?
it. He probably got turned.
Again, we pick it up
Probably
after
came
he's
out
already
track
turned the car around.
someone clipped
and
him.
it backed up in the wall, hit the driver's side.
Doesn't look like that
It
bad
had a
damage
word of
though.
smoke. It could have either been the engine or tire.
But
or
it
other
could have
that
messed
finally
up the
blew
fuel
tire.
system. The
Earnhart
rear end of the
pits, and I
car
said
probably
63.
made
Let
it
me
awful
correct
to
myself. It
handle.
is lap
So we'll see if he can get
Here's
back
Randy
out there or
Pemberton.
not.
I'll tell you, Earnhardt's in again, guys. They wanted to come in the
Surprise
last
pit
lap,
stop
but
for
the
Earnhardt.
communication level just wasn't there. They thought about putting a rubber, I believe, in the left front. I didn't see it happen. It went in the right front is what happened. They changed 4 tires. Earnhardt's down and away. So 2 rubbers in that car. They're making some wholesale changes on it. I thought that they'd do it with air pressure, but he was a little bit further out than that. But they're working on it.
Rick Mass, Jimmy Means now come in as we see Earnhardt coming back on the track. Spencer was running in 11
Here's
when
the
he
tow
had this
truck.
altercation with the turn 2 concrete and brought out caution number 2 or 3 of them.
It's our second caution of the race.
Number 2. First caution ran 7 laps. So while they're clearing up that Jimmy Spencer, and incidentally, Bobby Allison is here tonight. He's right down in the suite below us with his mother Kitty watching the race. I bet he's not too tickled about that. Let's go down and talk with Rick Benjamin.
All right, thank you, Ken Squire. We're here at the STP Pit Communications Center with Johnny Hayes. And we're going to take a look at some information that you may not have heard of yet this week. You know, this is the time of the racing season, Johnny, when the fans think of it as silly season. Well, this season is a little bit different. We've had 2 of the real heroes of this sport depart in tragic fashion. We're calling it a season of transition. And we're going to show you just some of the changes that have come along so far. This all was put in motion, of course, when Alan Kulwicki tragically perished in a plane crash earlier in the year. So that opened up the seat in car number 7 right now. It's Jimmy Hensley, but next year, Jeff Bodine's going to take over.
Yes, Jeff bought the team. He will be the driver. What happens to Jimmy Hensley, nobody knows for sure. He's done a great job in the car, and he's just on standby hoping something will come open.
Lots of rumors about a lot of these teams. We're going to run through some other ones for you. Of course, the second tragedy of the year, the passing of Davey Allison after the helicopter crash. That opened up the 28 car. Robbie Gordon, Lake Speed, took a shot at the ride. Now it's Ernie Irvin after buying out the contract. That's given a guy who's not very well known, Jeff Purvis of Clarksville, Tennessee, a chance.
Well, Jeff Purvis is well known inside the sport. He's been a great racer his whole life, great dirt champ, also a great ARCA competitor. So a new
Yeah, I knew Jeff Purvis rode the 4.
That's the story that really made a lot of news here in the
He ended up driving
Purvis
for a
now with
little
that
bit,
ride.
but Purvis, I mainly know him from
Now.
from racing the Busch
Bud Moore
series
car
in the
for next year. We
90s.
know Jeff Bodine is going to drive the 7th car. We understand Lake Speed is going to take over the Bud Moore ride in 94. But what
I
about
didn't.
Lake
I didn't
Speed's
even
own
know
team?
Lake Speed drove the
Lake
15.
Speed has
That's
signed a
interesting.
contract. He's in
I know
that ride
Shepard
for sure.
did, and I know
Who's going in
Bodine
Lake's
did.
car is probably going to be a rental situation. Someone wanting an opportunity to learn how to drive a race car. I think Lake will rent it to him.
They make a little money on the side. Now, let's take a look at some other situations. What's going to happen
Yeah,
with
Terry
the Rick
Labonte
Hendrick
goes to
team? Well, we know
5.
that Terry Labonte is moving with the Kellogg sponsorship into car number 5. Ricky Rudd takes his Tide sponsorship and forms a new team. We don't know the car number or much really about that situation yet.
No, but it's all settled. They have the sponsorship. They're not too concerned. Once you have the money, you can race. Talked with Rick Hendricks earlier today. All his teams are firm. He has 3 teams.
But basically, this was like the 6th season at the top of the '93 season.
He's done
They
a
finally
great
got
job.
Spencer's car
Schrader's home free.
on the tow truck.
We're in good shape. Rick Hendricks
And
is
Terry
home free.
Labonte in the number 5 car with Kellogg sponsorship there. Much more to talk about in this situation. We'll be back at Richmond for more of the Miller Genuine Draft 400 in just a moment. Hey, racing fans. Budweiser asks, who won? October 20th, 1985, North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham.
1985.
October 20th, 1985, North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham. Terry Labonte in the 44 car off the pole led the early portion.
I wonder if the full broadcast of this would be interesting to watch. I like Rockingham. My favorite track, actually.
The 33, Harry Gant, also in contention. Gant started fifth. He battled with the leaders all day long in this event. Another driver waiting in the wings in the 11, Darrell Waltrip. Waltrip and Ron Bouchard here in the 47 staged a fierce battle to the checkered flag, but who won?
If it was the spring race, it would have been Earnhardt, maybe, but if not, then I would guess either Labonte or Waltrip won that race.
For 2 years, no matter how far you go.
Yep, there's
Waltrip. You're right. Here's what happened.
He won the championship that year.
Cale Yarborough seemed to have the event well in hand until he spun and crashed with Lake Speed driving the 75. The 18 driven
Something's
at that
going on
time by Tommy
over there, the recording.
Crash left the door open for Ron Bouchard and Joe Waltrip. Battle it out to the finish. With 31 laps left, Waltrip surged past Bouchard underneath.
Bouchard almost, that would have, if he won, that would have been Bouchard's second career win. He actually got a lot of top 10s in the early 1980s. People don't remember that, but Bouchard was pretty solid for some years. It looks like we're back green at Richmond. 92 laps, about 1/4 through the race. Let me know your thoughts on the race so far.
I think they put a black flag out for jumping on the start on car 2, Rusty Wallace.
Wow, that's a huge development.
You know, they just started the race and they got a jump there, but I don't know what the call was.
Waltrip going to the inside, making an inside pass. Finally, we see a car passing on the inside in this race.
Kyle Petty is 4th. Running 5th is Bodine. Would be Jeff Bodine. Brett Bodine is in 6th. There's the 2 cars still out there, and they still have his number up on the starter stand down here.
I tell you what, Ken, they said they called it a brake check on the restart. He got in the gas, got off, but I don't think he's coming in. You know, he's leading this. He thinks he's leading the race. Now they're putting the black flag.
If he's black flag, he needs to go in.
Pick up your scorecard. See that black flag right there in the flagman's hand? There's a black flag. Tells you that flag with the X on it. When that comes on your card, they pick up your scorecard. You can run for 3 days. They just quit counting laps.
Let's see if he's going to come in now.
He is. He's coming.
Yep, here he comes.
Rolling down pit road. Wallace giving up.
So, big mistake by Wallace here. Let's see how far this puts him back. He's going to have to do a pass-through.
Jeff and Brett, 4th and 5th. Terry Labonte is in 6th.
Battle for the lead now. Martin underneath Waltrip.
And Mark puts that Ford to work with a Chevy up on the high side.
Ford versus Chevy.
Here's Johnny Hayes.
Ken, I have Jimmy Spencer with me. Jimmy, what happened?
Johnny cut a right rear tire down, no fault of the tires.
Oh, he cut a tire down. He didn't get help then.
Together with another car, also hit the wall in the back straightaway, no fault of the tires, just a dumb mistake by the driver, but I tell you something, the Meineke car was running real well, up in the top 10. Really thought I had something for him tonight, but not sitting in him.
Don't you love a driver that'll say it's a dumb mistake?
Oh, so Spencer's like smiling about it. It looked like he was mad at first when he got out of the car. He was like waving at the crowd and stuff.
You didn't look too happy.
What happened when you got out of the car? You didn't look too happy.
Well, I was all right. I'm not hurt or anything. And the excellent job that the medical workers do, they grabbed a hold of me, and I wasn't expecting it, and I fell back. They pulled me back, and I wasn't ready to come back, and I fell out of the car.
Martin clears for the lead, but they're still side by side.
Them cement walls are hard, but I got a hard head, too.
Yeah, he's such a dainty, pretty little
Spencer's acting like he won the race. Never seen someone so happy to wreck.
I tell you what, Spencer, he's a racer now. When you make a mistake, you just make a mistake. He's talking about the tire smoking.
Except for, I know it's the dig at F1, but unless you're an F1 driver, you're wrecking to help your teammate win.
He's tough when he gets up there.
6th race in a row, Neil, that Martin has led. He's led 17 of 23 this year.
Yeah, let's just keep the fans aware of what happened. Rusty Wallace did honor that black flag. He came down pit road and he did not lose a lap. He's about a quarter lap. There he is. He's about a quarter lap.
I don't think Wallace got a lap down, but he's definitely pretty far back. He's got a way to go to get back up towards the front. Still a long way to go, like 1/4 through the race, so he has plenty of time. Wouldn't be surprised if he does get back up there at some point.
Behind Dave Marcus, who's trailing the field.
But right now, it's... I mean, Waltrip's had a really fast car. I noticed he didn't win this race because His last
There
career
you
win was
see,
at
Trickle's car
Northbrook,
there, and now we're
so
looking for the 2 car, and it's going to be a while as
I
he
mean,
comes around the whole field.
I don't think it was Martin either
Meandering
because
down out
he
of
never
turn
won 5
4
straight
here.
races. So we'll see if
And
he
we
ends
have
up
car number
winning.
2.
Yeah, he'll be coming here. There's a 2.
So I haven't
Now
seen
watch the interval this way.
Earnhardt, how far Earnhardt is
There
back.
comes the leaders.
Yep.
So he's got about a
He
quarter
had
of a
problems
lap,
early in
and
the
he's gonna
race,
run just as hard as if he were
so
trying to win the race
he
right
did
now,
gain some
not slow
spots.
that lap
He's
down
probably
and get
back
the
in the
caution.
top 10.
Can't be too
And
happy
Jeff
down
Gordon was
there in
outside the top
Wallace
10.
pits right now.
He's worked his way up, and Bill Elliott seems like he's really fast.
We mentioned Kyle Petty is just behind him in 3rd. 4th is Jeff Bodine. 5th is Brett Bodine. Terry Labonte in 6th. Ricky Rudd in 7th.
15 cars coming down pit road. I see him turn down turn 3.
4th
Heading on
place
pit
car.
road.
15 in
And
pit
the word
road.
is he's leaking water. Car number 15 coming in, and they say that
He was running well.
4th place car is leaking water.
Yeah, they said
As
the
he
thing
comes
is
in.
overheating. Oh, here they go with the hood.
So,
Well,
this
that's
is
good news when that car goes.
unfortunate
And
for
he's
them.
gonna
They
go down
were
the lap
having a
right
great
now,
run
Jeff
so far.
Bodine.
Well, this early in the race, when one's overheating, you can't doctor it up. You might can fix one where to run a few laps and finish a race. Look, the water's coming out the overflow in the left rear.
Doesn't look good right now for Jeff Bodine. They're working very slowly. Here's Mark Martin out in front. What are you doing now that you weren't doing earlier in the season, Mark?
We're not racing harder now than we were earlier this year at all, or taking more risks. We have, we pretty much stayed
Martin's
doing
trying
the
to
same
pass
thing
the
all
left
through
part
the
here. I think it's Bobby Hamilton in the
It's
68.
our time now, that's all. I mean, things are just working out for us.
You know, I always have trouble with that. Remember how that was exactly what was said about Gant with that cambered rear end? Then we found out a few months later who they caught on. Remember when Bill Elliott won those 11 races in '85, and they said it was his time? Then we found out that aerodynamically that car was slipperier than anything we'd ever seen, Neil.
Ken, any time in this level of racing, when the car's as close as they are and somebody starts dominating, you say, boy, I hope it's mechanical. I hope they have found a camber and I hope they found this or that. The other question mark is Jack Roush fixing to do to this series what he did to Can-Am racing. Total domination, win Daytona 7 times, 24-hour race 7 or 8 times. Anything he's got into, he's worked at it until he totally mastered it and nobody could touch him. The question is now, do they have a little trick secret, or are they fixing to do this for a long time?
I think they are fixing to do it for a while, and I think they have found something. It'll be interesting to know in the months to come just what everybody else discovers.
It's no question that Mark Martin has been ready to win these races. He's dedicated. He does a lot of physical work to be able to stay in the car and work hard, and now he's winning a lot of races.
Roush has said that Mark has been an entirely different driver than any other driver he's ever worked with. And he says,
Mark was really good in 92, but he won a couple races in 92, but 93 is definitely better, and Mark was really solid in 94. Mark was really good in 1990.
Over Richmond, Virginia.
What is that?
Mark Martin right now.
SeaWorld. Huh. I didn't know SeaWorld was around back then.
Wrap up a weekend series in San Diego. The Braves at the Padres. That's live 4 o'clock Eastern on TBS tomorrow. And we're going to update you on the scores tonight.
Oh, that's a cool camera angle right there.
San Francisco lost this afternoon.
That looks like it's the Derek Pope car. 98 Bojangles.
Chop, chop, chop. 87 miles are now complete here at Richmond, Virginia, as Mark Martin is doing the chopping. They're cutting this field to shreds right now. But the guy
Saw the 27 of Hutch Strickland behind him in the McDonald's car.
He comes down that straightaway, about 150, 60 miles an hour in that range. Giving you an idea just how close they run, how consistently they get up there.
Yeah, Martin's definitely pulled away here. It was a great battle between him and Waltrip, but I thought Waltrip would have a better long-run car considering that first green flag stint. But Martin has definitely pulled away here, probably by a couple seconds, about 3.
To work his way back through the field. Dick Berggren has a pit report for us.
Pit report.
With Jeff Bodine, his car is behind the wall. There's water pouring out.
Wow, so he's going to go like a lot of laps down here. I thought Bodine was going to lose at least 5. He's probably losing like 15 to 20 or more.
We're leaking water, so I'm pushing water out of the engine. We've had this problem for a few years. Had racing to keep those head gaskets sealed up. I want to say something. Tim Robertson with the Family Channel gave me a donation today for my bobsled effort of $100,000. I want to thank him. That's a great thing. That's going to put us in the Olympics, hopefully with gold medals in Lillehammer this winter.
This guy never gives up, does he? He's always interested in racing, even when he's behind the wall.
Here goes Bill Elliott underneath Ricky
Even
Rudd.
one that he doesn't feel too comfortable sitting in either. Take a look at this 5 and 11 squabble. This is for 7th spot. Here's
Seventh. Okay, so Elliott has gained the most out of everybody. Elliott was started close to about 30th. Don't remember exactly where he started, but it was around there. He's on the move. Elliott was really good at Richmond for some years of his career. I know he got wrecked at Richmond in '86, I want to say, and '87, but I think even though he was pretty solid on the short tracks, I think Elliott only won once at Richmond though. And I'm pretty sure that was '92.
Back in 3rd place in the standings, currently showing a good stout 15th.
Yeah, it was '92, the first '92 race at Richmond.
As you look at these standings from Napa,
Harry Gant, after starting in the top 6, is down to 15th, 16th.
When he won this race as part of that 4-string that he
Wallace is 26, which I'm not surprised if he had jumped the restart, so he's pretty far back.
Since they cut that schedule back to 30 races to win 5 in a row. Can he stay there? Well, right now he's staying there in front of Darrell Waltrip in 2nd.
Wow, Morgan Shepherd's still behind the wall. Looks like the 15's back out there, though. Is that him in front of the 6th? Morgan Shepherd, yeah, he's... No, not Morgan Shepherd. Jeff O'Dine. I'm so sorry, y'all. Sometimes, I know Shepherd ran the 15 at some parts of his career, and I think in one of the other reactions I did a couple weeks ago, I got that messed up as well. I kept saying Shepherd was in the 15, but he wasn't at the time, so my bad, y'all. That's Wally Dahlin back in the 16. He's been working his way up. And Harry Gant, I thought he'd be more of a contender in this race, but he's not.
It's not going to do. Sometime a crackhead would do that, but that extended fire like that, something seems to be wrong.
Looks like those old GMC truck engines they used to race on the dirt 30 years ago. Remember? Throwing balls of fire down the track. Take a look at this guy. Here it is, the 25 car. That's Schrader going for 10th against Rick Mast. Mast right there in that car number 1 and a good stroke. Rockbridge, Vaz, Virginia, Rick Mast in the black and white number 1 looking for a good finish. Good, consistent runner. Hasn't had much luck in the past couple of years and knows you have to make your own here. That battle is about 14 seconds.
Good move to the inside by Mast. Should have tried to run him up high a little bit. But Schrader's been running the high line most of this race.
So to give you that again, that would be 10th Schrader, then 11th Mast, 12th Jarrett, 13th Earnhardt, 14th is Michael Waltrip, Kenny Wallace 15th, Harry Gant 16th. On board with Jimmy Hensley, further back in the field.
While we're watching now, this, the 15 was just black flagged again. It's pumping water all the way around the racetrack, so they're bringing him back in. The 7 car we're riding in here is the car that Jeff Bodine purchased for the race team, and he'll be driving it next year.
That's the last car on the lead lap. He's in 25th position. Cellular 1.
Dale Jarrett trying to get underneath Earnhardt. Just going to get it done. There's Michael Waltrip. First time I've seen Waltrip in this race.
We checked
Waltrip coming with him. Excuse me.
That's fine, Kim. We checked with Randy Pemberton on that last stop. They did put a rubber in the right rear, which would loosen the car up a little bit. That didn't help it enough. They put a rubber in the left front also to loosen it up even more. So they're struggling. That thing's not doing what he wants to do, and it'll make for a long night if they don't get it any better.
Schrader 11th, Earnhardt 12th, and Michael Waltrip the 13th, with 14th belonging to Dale Jarrett in this particular portion of the race, which is 131 laps complete. Oh,
that was a hard wreck.
Big problem out here with the 70.
That was out of nowhere.
Turned around, 3 cars, caution coming out, involved.
The 75 was one of those cars.
Wilson was in it. No question that Todd Bodine in his second
Yep,
ride
Todd
in that
Bodine and
Butch Mock car has gotten into that pretty good
it's the
size.
other
There was a
car.
third car that drove off from it.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit to the inside wall. They didn't have any safer barrier there at the time, I believe.
The 75 looked like he cranked up, moved a little bit. He can't go. Now the 44 is running again, but I believe he's got so much damage he's not going to be able to move.
Third
And maybe the
caution is
44 car of Rick Wilson.
as they rumple up a couple out here.
Oh, there's a driver going to
There's the
check
15
on
car
him.
checking with his brother there.
Yeah,
There's
Jeff
the
Bodine
44
going to check
on
on
E5
Todd.
coming up off turn 2.
Yep, Rick
They get
Wilson
together right
came
there.
up the track
Turn
and
them
hit
around side by side.
Todd,
They
and they
hit it
both
to the
going to the
wall.
inside.
There's the leader, Mark Martin, just cleared the wreck.
The slowed-up version doesn't look that bad, but
Lost it. They're headed down that
and they were
inside.
going
Just
full
saw
speed. It
Mark
looked like
Martin
quite
clear
the
the
hit.
wreck.
Yeah,
Bam,
that's
right
a
in
pretty
the
big
inside
hit
wall.
to the inside.
Boy.
Mark Martin.
Thankfully, not on the driver's side, though. As Martin's on pit road, I'm sure the other leaders are as well.
This is a brand new race car you're watching here. You might have thought he would have gone with one of the cars he had won with.
There's a tire loose there.
Brand new with good quality. There he goes.
And Kyle Petty coming right with it.
Maybe a bad sign.
Kyle Petty
He
gets
just
off
made a
second.
chassis adjustment on that thing, trying to get it better.
Here's Randy.
Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon, as well as Dale Earnhardt, were in up at this end. It seemed like the biggest loser on those pit stops
Earnhardt
was the Terry Labonte team.
probably back in 15th.
No major changes, though.
That accident was at lap 131. We're now working 133. There you see the Rick Wilson car, badly torn up. Looks like it could be the end of the day for Richard Petty's hopes. Here is Rick Wilson clambering out. Looks to be okay. And the early word is that things are all right on the younger of the Bodine brothers, Todd. So, at 1:34, we come around the time. We'll pause for these messages and be back with you at Richmond. 71,000 seats, every one of them sold since this past April at Richmond International Raceway, enjoying a beautiful night and a great race here in this $700,000 Miller
Sorry, I'm
Genuine
just
Draft
checking
400. With Neil Bonnet, I'm
some
Ken Squire.
text messages
We're in our third
real
caution
quick during this
period,
break.
which came about on lap 131 with a two-car jam session going into turn number 3 that looks like it's eliminated the STP car of Rick Wilson and young Todd Bodine driving the Butch Mark car as well, being towed away. Earlier today, Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hall presented the U.S. Air Force Reserve's Commander's Performance Award.
Hello, Ken. Hi, racing fans. This is Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hall presenting another Air Force Reserve Commander's Performance Award. And if you're mechanically inclined, pick up the phone and call the Air Force Reserve Recruiting Office. They'd love to hear from you. We gave 2 Air Force Reserve Commanders Performance Awards earlier today to Mr. Ken Squire and Mr. Fred Reinstein. Ken, of course, being the host of the show, and Fred behind the scenes as producer of the show. So congratulations to you, Ken and Fred. Now, with me today to receive the award is a man who started here winning in 1977 with his first Winston Cup race, Mr. Neil Bonnet. Thank you for being here. Please accept this award on behalf of the Air Force Reserve. It recognizes your abilities as a driver, your service to the sport of racing and to NASCAR, and certainly your TV exploits as your new TV show winners. Congratulations, and please accept this on behalf of the Air Force Reserve.
Colonel, it's a great honor to accept this award, especially coming from a bunch of winners like the Air Force. It's a great honor.
There's no bonnet.
I thought they were going to give you that award for that little job of flying you did at Talladega.
I had it, Kim, but that crash landed canceled it all out.
Okay. We'll be back with more in a moment, and for the restart here. 138 are complete. We're getting this field organized to go racing again at Richmond. Race is just
Going back
under
green
green
here.
to come around a complete lap 142.
Kyle Petty going to the inside of Dale
Jarrett,
Jarrett, I believe, is a lap down.
Kyle Petty there, and as they scramble down into turn number 1, the 18 car mixing it up with him. I think they have him on the tail end of that lap as they get this race resumed.
Yeah, they're showing the 18 as a lap down. The 42 car is showing a lot of strength here right now. Jumping up through that traffic. He's right there behind Martin.
143 laps complete. 107 miles complete in this 400-lap event. And you see Mark Martin dominating. It's like he wants to get himself that 5th Winston Cup victory in a row and set a modern-day record. Several other drivers have scored 4 wins in a season, but to do it 5 times hasn't been done since 1971 when they were on the old schedule.
If you look right here behind this group, there's Rusty Wallace. He's behind Earnhardt. There we go. We see the 2 car. That caution put him right back in the middle of this thing. I imagine he's driving with a vengeance after that.
So Earnhardt, this ain't moving up. Wallace has gained some spots.
He was running way faster. When Mark Martin was leading the race, this 2 car was running faster laps than Martin. But he's going to come up through here after he was put back with that black flag. And
up to 11th spot.
We'll deal with him for tonight. So.
You see Bobby Labonte just in front of him in 10th spot, number 22. Wallace closing in on it. Dick Trickle down to the inside of that yellow car. They stack him almost 3 wide as Earnhardt tries the outside. Clutch and transmission change on Earnhardt after the final practice this afternoon has left them trying to gather back that finesse they usually have when the race starts. There goes Terry Labonte onto the bottom in car number 14.
You have to see if Labonte can get by Gordon here. He has help on the inside with the run.
The leading rookie on Cup Tour.
There's Gordon working that outside lane. Really good. Ooh, the 5 car got right back to the 14 just a little bit. They tapped a little bit in the middle of that corner. Ooh, we see the 14 wiggling right there. A little bit of contact.
Sorry, I'm just
outside.
Trying to respond to people.
Orange 5.
This battle's about 3 seconds behind the leader, Mark Martin. The look from on top at this struggle. See Bobby Hillin down to the inside of the 90. Jeff Gordon, 24, right beside him.
Ken, that really shows. You'll see off of this corner, it's a real easy, wide exit. You don't flirt with the wall a whole lot. You got a little bit of room.
Not much you don't.
Yeah, but you got that arc right there. But now watch this right here coming off turn 2. You go down in turn 1, pinch it down the bottom, and these guys, if they won't turn around,
Earnhardt can't seem to get anything going in the outside lane, though. We saw Bobby Labonte still on his spot. Wallace trying to get by him. Run on the outside lane. Stu Martin's still leading, and then Kyle Petty and Kyle Petty's behind him.
Darrell Waltrip is in 4th. Brett Bodine is 5th. Gordon is in 6th in that 24 car. Right behind him comes Labonte in 7th. And you see Earnhardt in 8th. Let's go back up front. There you see Martin, and there you see the interval he's pulling off between himself and Kyle Petty in 2nd. The speed in the last lap on car number 6, 118-mile-an-hour average on this 3/4 mile track. Morgan Shepherd's getting ready to re-enter many, many laps down.
Ken, Dick Berger's down in the 6-car pit. Let's go down there and see what's happening with this 6.
Well, Neil, everybody wants to know how come Mark Martin is winning all these races. I asked Jack Roush, and he said, well, here's a piece of it right here in my hand. One of his classmates manufactures 1800s replica Winchester knife. He's had it in his pocket for every one of the wins. Look at these knee pads. Steve Neal is wearing those. Guess what? He's had those on his knees for every win. He says he's going to wear them for absolutely ever. Luck, they say, is playing a little bit of a role here.
That's
I don't know. I just can't believe a knife and a knee pad makes that turn 8,400 RPM. And when he turns, it cuts. And when he mashes brake, it stops. They got a heck of a race car there. And I think one thing about it, we said, you know, here we are with a brand new race car. Why wouldn't they come with something old? These guys build used race cars every week.
They'd like to have you think that it's a matter of knee pads and jackknives and so forth. Look at Brett Bodine in the 26 car, in the spot. Holding him on for the moment. Right beside him is Dale Jarrett. Going down a lap, and right comes Gordon behind that 26.
Yeah, drift. I never drift.
4 seconds back from the leaders.
We haven't had a good lick. We haven't had like an on-screen leaderboard update in a while. Just noticed that.
Take a look at Bill Elliott. Didn't see much of him tonight, and he has squared off in
Austin Bill from Dawsonville.
And is running very well right now.
He's running 3rd place. That's the best they've run in a long time. They must have had a good pit stop. Guys got him out.
As we mentioned earlier, he's been moving his way up, and he's now in 3rd. Impressive run by Elliott.
As Bill Elliott maintains that 3rd position. Kenny Wallace has gone back behind the wall in car number 40.
Kenny Wallace behind the wall. There's Earnhardt now on the back bumper. Cherry and underneath Dale Jarrett.
works on the bottom side. He's in 8th. Terry Labonte in
Okay, so this battle for 8th, actually.
Ricky Rudd is in 9th in the car 5. And that 24 car in 6 is Gordon.
Waltrip, I wonder where Waltrip is. I don't know where he's at the moment.
Back there, too. Good pack of cars right here. They've been running like this 6 or 8 laps. Earnhardt's tried repeatedly to get around Labonte. He couldn't do it.
I don't know if y'all can tell what it's saying, but I'm pretty sure it said there's been 5 leaders, 6 lead changes, 80 or 94 miles an hour average speed, 3 cautions for 26 laps.
Good 3-way battle. Take a look at Rusty Wallace closing in on Ricky Rudd. Battle for 9th. Jarrett pinned on the outside. Schrader back there in 11th. In 10th is Wallace, and then in that 9th, it's Ricky Rudd in number 5. Bill Elliott getting around Kyle Petty.
Oh, so Bill Elliott's now in the
second. Now in the second spot.
He got up on him coming off
made the pass and dived into turn 1, took
Elliott,
it.
we said earlier in the show, Elliott needed to run good. They've been off the pace.
What's going on here? My phone's not loading anything. Finally, it took a minute.
At lap 160, Bill Elliott. Looks like the Elliott of old back in the mid-80s as he closes on Mark Martin.
Promotional fees and considerations have been paid by the following. First Brands Corporation, makers of STP engine treatment. Help stop engine wear before you start. And by Heilig Myers Furniture Company, the proud sponsor of Bobby Hillis Ford Thunderbird. And by True Value Hardware Stores. Got a tough job to do? They'll see you through it. You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores. And by Pyroil Automotive Chemicals. Technically advanced, performance tested, and value priced. And by SeaWorld, bringing you Airship Shamu, SeaWorld's traveling goodwill ambassador.
Here's Mark Martin at lap 167. Continuing to build on that lead as he goes for his 5th win. Now here's Rusty Wallace. He's moved under Ricky Rudd, and he is challenging Dale Earnhardt for 8th position. Wallace coming on with a vengeance here.
Here comes Wallace, no surprise. He's on the move.
Defending champion.
He had the, he jumped.
Preseason. Meanwhile,
my voice is sort of going away. I've recorded like 4 videos this morning and this afternoon. It's been a long day. But hey, I need to do it because it's like the only day I have off this week. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I've been busy all day trying to work on videos, get videos out for this week and next week. So, I know I haven't been that consistent lately. I do apologize for that.
3 occasions, 83, 87, and 90
is this Waltrip going for 2nd now?
Could stitch together in this event. Here he is.
No, it's actually for the lead. So I didn't realize this, but Martin's not in the lead.
Waltrip going to 2nd, and Elliott fighting right back and brings that Ford off that 2nd corner. Boy, what a bite that thing had.
Yeah, that's a tough move to make.
I may be wrong, but I haven't seen Martin the last like 20 laps.
He's got a better chance at him on the inside.
Or Waltrip, matter of fact.
You got a sweeper turn, it doesn't bog your car.
There's something wrong with showing like other cars going like other battles like outside of the top 10, but I had no clue who was in the lead because they didn't show a leaderboard update.
Here comes Elliott pulling back on that side. Waltrip held his line a little bit better. Now he's going to have
I'm gonna try and keep his track with as much as possible. Obviously,
make a pretty decent run at him right here.
People be like, "Oh, it's because you're on your phone." Well, maybe. Anyways, I hope you are enjoying the race so far. Thank you all, of course, for tuning in and chatting in. Appreciate all of you.
Here you see Kyle Petty running 4th, just behind him.
Okay, so Martin is in lead, Waltrip's 2nd, Elliott's 3rd, and Petty's 4th. So, just want to make sure that, you know, obviously, I messed up there, so I apologize. I did not realize who was in the lead because I didn't think that Waltrip would have caught Petty that fast. And he had Waltrip at the beginning, the first run had a very good long run car. Second green flag run, he seemed to be a little slower. Barn was able to pull away, and then now it looks like Waltrip's the fastest car on the track other than Martin. And then there's Wallace, who's pretty fast as well, but Wallace is still ways behind.
Well, it does. It sends your head for a ride over there. Well, you got everything tied down but your head. That's where you see these drivers wearing these big head braces on the side of their seats.
Waltrip, 30 top 10s and 38 starts at Richmond, and he's having a phenomenal night tonight. But not as good as Mark Martin's having. The Jack Roush car is on rails and pulling away. It's 3 5/10 of a second by which car number 6, the Jack Roush Valvoline Ford, is pulled out in front. Now there are the gentlemen.
Fourth consecutive wins in Cup wins in modern era. Yep. Earnhardt had a really good start in the 87 season. Bill Elliott. I watched the 1992 season all the way through not that long ago, and Elliott was just, that team was just on rails at the beginning of 92, just on fire, and then just as season went along, kind of went downhill a little bit. Martin, right now, in this race, has gone for his 5th win in a row.
And Bobby Allen succeeded in 5 wins in a row. What were you doing in 71?
I was racing, but
I apologize if I've been messing up words and stuff. As I said, my voice is going out. I'm drinking as fluids as possible, you know. Just,
excited about this.
you know what I mean? It's just, I'm losing my voice a little bit.
Probably got firmly pressed with your forefinger and thumb right about now.
So it's making me mispronounce words and stuff. It's making me go shorter than I expected. But hey, I'm still here chatting. I'm, you know, I like to race reactions, and y'all know that. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you have any criticisms, let me know too. I'm open to anything. I do not get offended.
Cup racing is nowadays. They're sitting there saying, "Hey man, what are these guys doing to us?"
He has such a huge lead. It's crazy. He's ahead by like 4 seconds at Richmond. It's done. You don't see very often.
Take a look at the whole
Son, he didn't really see in the 90s either.
They come by. Come on, Bonnet. You're down there all the time. What do you think Roush is doing the rest of the Nevin caught on?
Again, I don't know. Maybe it's just happened and they've got it that good. I don't know. But everybody's hoping they've got something mechanical that everybody else is going to find out about. But they might just come together and there'll be something to deal with.
Well, unless something untoward goes off on car number 6, it's now 4 8/10 of a second. Like a bandit in the night, Mark Martin continuing to attack in our live coverage here on TBS. Watching Martin try to do what no one has done in the modern stock car era, win 5 in a row. Junior Johnson,
can he do it is the question.
To change that.
Jeff Gordon's actually close to getting in the top 5 here. But look at that. I wonder how much the food prices were back then at racetracks. So back in the 90s, I'm sure they were way cheaper. Nowadays, it's like $10 for a cheeseburger. It's ridiculous. So, if you went to a race in the 90s, let me know how much the food prices were in the concession stand at the track.
With Spencer, I didn't know if you'd ever come back and see us to talk more about some of these driver changes.
Spencer's awesome, isn't he?
He sure is, as we watch the leaders work. Tell us about this guy.
Hank Parker. This is one of my neighbors. He's one of the world's greatest bass fishermen. I don't have a clue what his fish is doing there.
Well, I tell you what.
Hank Parker. I've heard of him.
Hank Parker's a big friend of a lot of the race car drivers. He goes fishing with a bunch of the guys, ex-sportsmen. He's bought a Busch race car.
Really?
He's going to put he's won the Bassmaster Championship a couple of times, and that's going to jump on this racing.
Hank's not real smart, folks.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll look for him out there. But let's take a look at
more
cars,
more driver changes.
Now we know that
they showed a little bit of a segment of this earlier in the race. Even more. Ted Musgrave went to 16 in 94, I believe.
He's just waiting to see how everything falls, but he'll end up somewhere.
Richard Petty's team?
It's one of the rumors. As a matter of fact, I followed up on that. I talked with Richard Petty and Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson pointed out quickly that he had a 1-year contract, and he would evaluate it after it was over. Richard Petty made it perfectly clear. When I decided to put someone else in my car, we'll let you know. The king has spoken.
As only the king can do. Let's show you some of the other changes that are coming up as we look ahead to 1994. The 41 car, the Larry Hedrick team. We know that Phil Parsons is leaving there in a Busch Grand National star. Robert Presley's going to move in.
Yes, there's been no announcements on that officially, but I think everyone believes that Robert will be replacing Phil. What happens to Phil? Still going to be a lot of rides come open, and he's one of those key guys that could jump into something else.
Phil Parsons back in action this year in the 41 car. Other driver changes likely to come ahead as we see Robert Presley will be taking
I'm
over
posting
that spot
something
in the 41
right now,
as far as we know now. That leaves the DK Ulrich car, the 54 5 open at this point.
Yes, and I talked with the people there, and again, they're going to hold their options open, see who's available, because they may have 2 or 3 people to choose from. It's a good race car.
Musical chairs, and there's a lot of changes still to come. A couple of drivers who are going to move up from Busch Grand National to Winston Cup next year.
Yes, I think Joe Nemechek is going to do his own team, so that's good because he can own the team and he doesn't have to get fired as a driver. Ward Burton's definitely coming up. He's coming up with a Hardy sponsorship.
And Hoosier Tire. The Hoosier Tire
yes,
deal will be his
yes,
also.
exactly right. That'll be the Hoosier Tire car.
So that'll be really interesting to watch too. And there are other changes we'll talk about, I guess, a little later on.
Riding with Mark Martin here as we review the changes in the transition that's
Martin
going
has
on.
a huge lead
Pretty
right now.
awesome how many changes are happening as we look forward to 1994 and that first race at Daytona. 195 laps complete.
Yep, we're getting close to the halfway point of this race.
Lead is being cut into.
Almost there.
Waltrip is definitely closing. Remember how it was 4.5 seconds? Throw that one away. It's now 3 4/10.
Okay, so Waltrip is gaining a lot, and the lap traffic may help.
I'm not so sure. I think Mark is just lonely out there, and he wants some company. He's so tired of running around out there by himself.
So the 21's finally back on the track. Shepard, he was in the garage for a while. He had a mechanical
Last
issue.
night, he'd lead the race, and somebody would come up on him, and all of a sudden he'd squirt that thing out there and get a 2-second lead, and they'd close in, he'd move out. He's so used to running these races, kind of like in golf. Some guys are good leaders. Mark Martin's an excellent leader. He gets out there, he runs the pace he needs to stay up front.
Well, the guy that's just cleaning house right now continues to be Rusty Wallace. After losing time being sent to pit road, he's come back with a vengeance. And right now, Wallace has got himself up into 5th spot. He's taken Bodine. He has taken the number 24 of Jeff Gordon. And he continues to be as quick as anything.
I got scared for a second. I thought today was Wednesday for a second. I was about to say, wait a minute, I'm tripping because I don't know. I just had a brain freeze for a second because I had a feeling it just doesn't feel like a Thursday to me. I don't know. It was just weird. Because usually I record race reactions on like Wednesdays. So yeah, I got confused for a second because I was posting. I was like, is it Thursday? Is it Wednesday? I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Flash? What's going on?
11th is Ricky Rudd.
So Wallace is here now, battling in the top 5. So he was down in 27th after that black flag, and now he's working his way back up. He is on the move.
As you ride with him going down the back straightaway, if you're just joining us, 71,000 seats here at Richmond, Virginia. Every one of them sold since last April, and
wow,
race they're seeing.
Sell out.
Martin tries to
not surprised though.
Stock car history books and win 5 in a row. Hasn't been done since 1971. Hasn't been done in the modern era of stock car racing.
Yep, that is
true.
true.
Man from Batesville, Arkansas, is the
Earnhardt's back in the top 10. Rick Mast he fell back a lot earlier. He's back in the top 10. Harry Gant's trying to work his way back up. He was down like 26th earlier. So maybe the adjustments they made during the pit stops have definitely been helping. Okay, only 17 cars on the lead lap now.
Yeah, I'm sure Rusty knows.
Still trying to get this out, y'all. I'm sorry. It's taking a while.
That black flag, he was a little upset with the call.
No.
So I'm telling you, once he gets there,
takes a while to upload stuff on Facebook sometimes.
His sponsor is the sponsor of the event, and here comes Earnhardt around Ricky Rudd.
To the outside. The outside lane has been really good so far for these drivers. And he makes the pass.
Taking the high side and on the rim right, collects that spot back again. Earnhardt heads to Rudd, now he takes it back.
Yeah, that's 10th, but that's a half a lap behind. It's a good indication the way Mark Martin is running. They're just about a half a lap behind Mark Martin.
Well, guys, I'll tell you, Steve Neal just come over, crew chief for Mark Martin. He said, Mark, let's just take it easy now. Let's ride and take care of our stuff. I listened to the scanner back at Darlington a week ago, and Steve keeps him so calm in the race car, and he sounds very calm tonight. I believe Mark's running about 9%, but as we stand right now, no question about it, the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack, Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin, but Mark is not going to race. He's at least got somebody to race with.
Need to check that interval between first and second. It's about 6.5 seconds between
Rusty Wallace back there in fourth, and Mark Martin is your leader. And we'll check that interval between Martin and second place man Darrell Waltrip. Bill Elliott stays in third, right there with Waltrip. 206 laps are now complete. Take a look further back here.
Ken, you know, earlier we were speculating, wondering what happened with that black flag. Let's go down to Dick Berger and see if he can tell us why they made that call.
Well, Neil, you called it correctly from on top. They thought that perhaps Rusty Wallace had given the field a brake check. The crew down here vehemently argued that's not what happened, but that was what the penalty was all about.
Dick, you know, they called us up here and said they thought it was a brake check. That's just a judgment call. You know, Rusty was on the pole, and as he tried to get off the corner there, he just got a good shot. They called it that. You know, it's a tough call to make, but Rusty's having to pay the price, but he's coming back.
A little short braking was the call. He stood on it a little to discombobulate the rest of the field. That's a great short track trick. I'm sure you never did that, Neil.
Well, I did it several times, but I never got like it.
You never got caught. Always make the guy behind you look awful when you do that. Here comes Mark Martin putting another lap down, this time on Strickland.
Yeah,
he continues
Martin's
to
looking like a favorite right now.
Roar around Richmond.
Nice aerial view.
214 laps.
I thought that was a graphic error.
160 miles in this 400-lap race, and this three-quarter-mile track had been completed. Waltrip's in second to Martin. In third spot, it's Bill Elliott having a great night here at Richmond. In fourth spot is Rusty Wallace.
Maybe
He's the quickest thing out here. And in fifth place, Kyle Petty. That was the rundown after 2:11. The board is now showing 2:15. There's Mark Martin leading. Wallace, about 4 laps ago, was at 6.5 behind him. Then he cut it to 6.2, then 6 flat. Now it's 5.9 as Rusty Wallace back in fourth place. Now it's 5.7 as he closes even tighter. And
once I finish with this, I'm not going to be on my phone the rest of the video.
Elliott running second and third. Now there
sorry,
they
it's
are.
taking a while. There's just not really that much to add, honestly, at the moment. That's just
Bill Elliott in the 11.
to be honest. I try to add as much commentary as I can to his reactions, so I apologize I'm not saying anything for the last 15, really. Last 15 I haven't been saying much, so I apologize for that.
Taking big chunks out of it right now.
Last 15 minutes.
You just heard with the pits.
But anyways, should be about done.
Keep the car under. We're going to wait to see if it gets down there, and then see if he can get back away from Rusty.
Meanwhile, further back in the field, in 11th now, is Dale
Earnhardt.
In number
so recap of Earnhardt's race, he was
on the field.
He started up in the top 10. He fell back early. He had some problems. They put some rubber in the car, and he's been slowly working his way back up, but hasn't quite got to the top 5 yet.
Situation. They got to go for it. If they try to take it easy and just finish good, that ain't going to gain them anything. They got to go out and try to win races. Because we're going to go out there and run hard, try to win the race too. So it's still a race. You got to race hard, and I'm glad to see them 3 cars up top every week. It's been, since Bristol and Darlington, we all been up front racing. So I hope it comes down to like that for every race from here on to the end of the season.
It's nice you can say that when you got a 300-point lead.
Yeah,
you don't mind seeing those other guys around you, but I tell you what, nobody's told Mark Martin yet he's out of this thing.
8 races are left in the season. Earnhardt has won 5 times here at Richmond over the years, and now you're right again. Live pictures.
I like this onboard view of Martin. As you can tell, as we've seen it so far in this race, like front stretch, getting into turns, he has the wheel cranked all the way to the left, and on back stretch, he has it a little bit more straight, but not all the way straight.
Good job in fixing that.
They have 2 degrees of banking on the back stretch.
Waltrip and Elliott still
I think it's a little. I don't know if that's the same as now.
Stabilized, it's right there with this number 6 out in front, and the story of the race is Wallace in the number 2, who continues to clamber up, taking a little back on every lap. By the way, Rick Wilson, all battered and tattered, car number 44, is going to come back on the track many laps down in the STP car for Richard Petty. But it is soundly thrashed. Just coming out, it's been in, 50, 60 laps. There's the 11, Elliott.
Yeah, this has been the longest green flag run of the race so far. They've been green for about 100 laps.
Oh, I love that throw, Neil Bonnet. I'm with Mike B. Mike, what have you got for Darrell Waltrip?
After the race, we'll look at the race results and see who finished where, see some stats for the race, as we always do at the end of the race reaction.
We've come a long ways in a couple weeks, and I think we kind of know what we've done wrong tonight. You know, we'll just fight it out here and hopefully have a good night, but we're going to keep working. You know, this is a new car in Darlington, and Tuesday morning we cut the front frame section out from under, so we really brought a new car here in front wheel, so I think we'll be okay. Boy, Billy, it's hot. Look out. Randy Pemberton.
Barry Johnson standing there. Barry, you're certainly one of the best 2 or 3 out there. Do you have anything for Mark right now when Rusty's coming?
He's the man, you know. You have to take care of your brakes up here. And our Western Auto
you do.
Good. It can run a little faster, but we're just past halfway. Mark's going to be awful tough to beat, you know. Certainly we're going to try to be the
And Waltrip's had a really good run so far in this race, to be fair, because in the late 90s, like into like the mid-late 90s, Waltrip, obviously, he's gotten older, and he didn't have as many great runs. So for him to be in the top 5 like this entire race, he's been really good, really strong. He led even laps earlier on.
That was in July when we were down there watching you doing your aerial antics there at Talladega.
Yeah, flying around here. And talk about flying around. We just heard from the pits kid talking about brakes. He said, you got to take care of your brakes. Let's follow this 2-car and take a look inside this left front wheel when he goes down. He's going up this back straightaway, and watch when he stands on the brakes. I want you to take a look inside this wheel right here at the brake rotor. See that thing turn cherry red inside there? They're using these brakes so much on this racetrack.
Martinsville is a track that you have to use the brakes even more than Richmond, is another short track in Virginia. Martinsville is just, man, a lot of brake failures can happen there, and have happened there, because it's using up your brakes from having to hit them every time you turn. It's a short track.
How long can they take that much?
Quick question real quick. I don't know if they do a poll on here, but for those watching, which short track do you like better? Do you like Martinsville or do you like Richmond more? The 2 Virginia short tracks. So let me know in the chat or in the comments. I'd be interested to hear and see what y'all have to say about that, and which one you think's better.
Now it's 6 3/10 of a second between Mark and Rusty. And
most people I know would say Martinsville. But Martinsville's not been that good the last couple seasons, to be honest with you. With the next gen car, it's not made. The next gen car's not made for short track, and it's not provided exciting action at the short tracks. Everyone knows that, but it's true.
So Rusty, Mark Martin's in a position now that he can break your spirit.
That's a cool shot there. See Harry Gant try to run up the track there. He didn't use that much brakes in that corner. He's trying to let the car roll through the corner.
And now you're with Bobby Hillen. Bobby Hillen is back in 23rd position. Couple of laps down, scooting down here onto the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, he got a person right up close, but obviously still working on the. They still had some technical issues back then, and that's just part of broadcasting. You're gonna have some things that don't always work very well. So it is what it is. It's part of improving and innovation. As you see with different race reactions, like from different years, like the 70s, you see there's definitely improvements in the 80s from the 70s. We started seeing leaderboards in the 80s, graphics, stuff like that. In the 90s, just became more advanced. And then the 2000s, every year it's gotten way more advanced.
Dropping away here is our best aerial platform, gives you the view of this great facility in Richmond, Virginia, where it's all Mark Martin right now. At lap 239.
Wow, so they're going through. Yeah, we're about 160 to go, so they're flying through this
to come in here, make a pit stop,
great flag action.
And it will be teamwork that will count. Down on pit road, we'll have our cameras there for you. Look at that. As you're watching Derek Koch, the leader right behind him, trying to put him another lap down. There goes that number 6 screwing right by.
Mark Martin, you're on board with the leader. He comes down the main straightaway. Mark Martin, a lot of folks at home want to know how close is what we see on television. Oh, wait a minute. Let's just hang in here a minute. Rusty Wallace is on pit road.
Uh-oh.
Wallace is in. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Ken, this was a planned pit stop. They had slowed down.
So Wallace is on pit road. It should be starting like green flag pit stops anyway, so I'm not surprised.
Tire change under the green flag. Billy Wilburn working that left front tire really hard now. All these guys are in an exercise program. Wow, what a pit stop.
Blazing pit stop on car number 2. Strickland coming in. We're getting a time right now. And now car number 6, 19.4 on the lead on that Rusty Wallace car. And now the leader is coming.
Sort of a slower
You're
stop.
riding with Mark Martin as he eases down at 45 miles an hour. Speed limit on pit road. Let's go down to Randy with car 6.
Well, Steve Neal's crew.
The leader is in.
To try and take it easy. Had a nice lead. Mark was running comfortably out there. The left side tires are being loosened up. Right sides are on. Jack is down on the right-hand side. Second can of gas already in. Crew looking very smooth here. They're going to move the right front tire that was taken off away, so Mark get away clear. The car is down and away.
So a slower stop for Martin and Wallace.
A nice smooth pit stop. Kyle Petty's in up pit road.
Most of the leaders are coming in. Wally Dallenbach is in. Waltrip has stayed out in the 17.
Earnhardt was in. Wonder how many cars will be on the lead lap after this round of pit stops.
Waltrip leading, Elliott's in second.
Kyle Petty, he was running in the top 5. And Schrader, he's running in the top 10 and the 25. I always like that the Kodiak paint schemes.
Schrader, good service right here with his car.
Jeff Purvis back there in the 4. I'm correct. Darrell Waltrip, DW.
Let's go back to Randy Pemberton as we wait for car 17 to make this critical pit stop.
Barry Dotson and the crew wait for Darrell's arrival. Of course, this
Jeff
is one
Gordon's
of the
in.
teams that practice their pit stops over the air. He's just ahead of Jeff Gordon on pit road. They're going to the right side. Gordon pulls away. Dick Trickle also behind him. They're done with the right-hand side tires right now. Going around the left-hand side. This crew's flying. It looks like a pretty good stop. He wants to try and make up some ground on Mark Martin on pit road. They've been desperately working on their pit stops. He's
Faster stop for Waltrip.
Great pit stop.
Yeah, that was. For 4 tires, that was. Still behind them, though, as we saw Martin and Wallace get by. Here comes Elliott, who took the lead by staying out.
See Elliott on the outside, Derek Cope right there with him.
See, if he cycles out to be the lead, it'll probably end up being Martin, but Wallace was right behind him.
Ready to go to work. Here's Dick Berggren.
Elliott has soldiered his way to the front all day. He started way back at 26. Hardly anybody even noticed that he was here. But here he is now on pit road, coming out of the lead. The brake rotors on the front of this car are glowing absolutely cherry red. They are using the brakes for all they're worth here at Richmond Speedway. 4 tire change, as has been the case for everybody.
About the same as Martin.
And a good stop by that crew, as you would expect. And right with them comes that Derek Cope group. And take a look at 25, and look what's hanging off the back of it up there on the top of the window.
Right in the left rear window. They were working on the wedge, just in the chassis some, and they left the ratchet and the extension down in there.
He's probably going to end up going a lap down now.
Goes through a windshield. It'll hurt somebody, so it'll be a stop and go. They'll stop, they'll snatch that ratchet out of there, and he'll be gone. But boy, is that costly. That speed limit on pit road really cost you some distance.
At least it wasn't like a tire falling off, tire loose or whatever.
Error after that pit stop under green for the Schrader crew as they settle down and get back with the program. For the moment, Labonte has the lead. That's Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte in the lead. He was leading earlier in the race and fell back, so now he's back out front, though. See how long he's going to stay out.
He should be coming in shortly, staying out for the moment.
Here's Wallace. This is the battle for second, I believe.
Right here, look at this thing. This is going to be shake out and be the lead in just a minute.
They're way ahead of whoever's back there.
And after these pit stops, this is going to be the battle for the lead.
Michael Waltrip is being shown 4th, Darrell 5th, Elliott 6th, and Dale Jarrett just behind it. Now they're bringing his number down.
Boy, Rusty tried to get around him just a minute ago. They both had tremendous pit stops. And And I'm telling you, this is going to shake out and be the battle for the lead after the full set of stops is over.
Bobby Labonte has yet to make his pit stop. Therefore, he relegates Martin and Wallace, 6 and 2 respectively, into a battle for second place.
Labonte came around again with that coming in. He's going to stay out a little longer. But he's running, like they said, a second off the pace. The older tires are a second slower. Even though he's leading the race, he's giving up valuable distance on that track. We haven't had these guys paired yet. You know, at one time, Rusty was leading, the 6 hadn't got there yet. This is really the first chance we've had to put them back to back and bumper to bumper to see who can fight it out for the lead.
Neil, how do you feel when you're sitting there on pit road? It's a green flag stop. You've got a good crew, but you know that a second counts for so much in this form of racing.
Again, people won't believe how busy you are when you pit. We sat here and watched him come in. They jack the car. Well, the driver comes in. He's got a specific spot.
Earnhardt's about to go lap down.
He gets the car in neutral. He puts
He's
the
there
clutch
with
in,
Perry
he's got his foot
Gant.
on the brake, and the toe of his foot on the throttle, his heel on the brake. He's getting in first gear. Hit cue, and when they drop that jack, is to leave. So even though it seems like a long time, the driver's pretty busy.
Martin's led most of this race.
The difference is when they have a problem and you sit there for a long time. But
not far from the race
tricky to
record
sit
either.
there and watch those guys just drive away from you when you're sitting on the jack. Yeah, and you know the guys are doing the best they can out there. They're doing everything they can in those pits to get you out. And just sometimes they hit a perfect stop, and sometimes it's a problem. The key is just to get consistent stops, and that's what Rusty and the 6 car have done.
In the battle for second spot, Gant going another lap down. He's running back in 15th spot, and they're about to close up on Jeff Purvis. Waiting for this confrontation to really get nailed down between these two guys who at the moment stay in second spot to Bobby Labonte.
Those two have been the fastest throughout the whole race. I mean, Alex been fast. He had worked his way up over 20 spots, I believe, into the top 5.
Jeff Purvis in the 4.
He's definitely been really
he may
fast.
be getting ready to come in. Here come the leaders by him.
I just don't see Elliott. Obviously, I already know, but Elliott, he only won once in '93, so kind of mentioned that earlier. As Bobby Labonte's now on pit road. He's going to lose a lap on pit road to the stop because he stayed out so long and he wasn't towards the leaders, so he's going to lose a lap.
This crew has been waiting on Bobby Labonte, Duke and Squire. They have been on the edge of the seats on pit road waiting for Labonte to come in. Labonte now in. What a crop of rookies this year. This kid has shown everybody a lot in the last several weeks. Tim Brewer, the crew chief, on the left front. He's been with lots of winning teams, and he is soldiering these guys forward today. A lot more than a pole being shown by
A little bit of slower stop there. It's not like they were on point with the gas, but the tires changed and it was a little bit slower. And then again, these pit crews are that's what they do when they're really fast. It's something it'd be something it'd take me a while to. I feel like I've thought about like doing tire changes before and seeing practicing that, but it's definitely really tough. You have to be really fast when you do it. Obviously back then you had more luck. Now you only have one, but you gotta be fast on pit road, especially during green flag runs.
7, Jeff Purvis.
As
Morgan McClure car.
There's Rick Mast, Ricky Rudd, and Jeff Ford.
5. Rick Mast is in 7.
Butch Strickland's in the 27 car, and then Dale Garrett in 18.
24 in 9th.
Oh, look at this.
Back and riding again with Mark Martin.
Rewind here on board. Wow, that was close.
Watch on television. To what you see behind the wheel, Mark Martin.
No, not really. It's a lot better than nothing, but it's still a lot different when you're getting all the sensations in the seat.
What are the sensations we're missing?
The slide of the car. You know, the G-forces, the slide of the car.
Are you all the time sliding in the corners?
My car is.
Okay, people, let me tell you what. When I tell you to lean to the right as he goes in this corner, I'll show you what it feels like. It's just a matter of what Mark's talking about. You pull so many G's in the corner. See that head brace up there on the side of his helmet where it says power oil? Right there it goes in, and his helmet is actually flexing that piece of aluminum over. He's pressed in that right seat. The car is actually squirming around under it. He'll go in and put the car the place he wants it, and it'll slide over about a foot. So you just every lap calculate calculate on how much slippage there is on those wheels. And when he says that,
should be coming close to 100 to go here.
It's always trying to slip out.
About 3/4 through the race.
It looks so solid when you see these pictures.
Well, because the guys know how to slip it.
It's been the longest green flag run of the race.
It's kind of controlled drift all the time.
The last caution was for Todd Bodine and Rick Wilson's wreck on the backstretch over 100 laps ago.
Ford versus Pontiac. Mark Martin going for 5 in a row. Can he do it? We'll see. 271
lead change while they were gone. Rusty Wallace is now up front. Mark Martin second. So that's a big gap to have coming back from a commercial break. Some must have happened.
Like a Black Panther, it was Couchy, ready to pounce. And look at this move. There's Purvis up on
okay, so they're coming up on the lap car. Purvis.
And the two cars kind of boxed in behind Purvis right here.
Martin was trying to use him as a pick, but it looks like,
Rusty, he gets a good
let's
run
see
up
here,
off
how does he get by?
He's going to follow the Ford down the back straightaway. Got him boxed in, but watch this, get out of the box. Now
wow.
Go under this
okay, so Martin braked a little early there, maybe. But Wallace sent it there trying to get through that gap, and he did.
Nice piece of driving has put Rusty Wallace.
Earnhardt's last car in the lead lap in front of Wallace. It would be nice to see a leaderboard.
He, for the moment, is the leader.
He's probably, Earnhardt's probably like right outside the top 10, if not top 10.
Who led for some time as they came in that green flag pit situation. He went from first back to 16th. 10 cars remain in the lead lap. So now the situation is Wallace in front. And it's Martin in second. Take a look at the
yep, there's the lap leaders.
Here. Ernie Irvin got out to the
Irvin
lead.
is the first car of the race.
Rusty Wallace had an early shot at commanding the race. We had our first caution at lap number 59. That was when the 28 blew up. Ernie Irvin. Wallace has been up there at the caution at lap 82. That was when the 12 car crashed. The Autolite race story showing you Waltrip getting a chance at it, then Martin dominating for a while out
there. A lot of different lead changes in this race. It's been a really good race. I've really enjoyed it. As Martin actually led 100 straight laps at one point. And I realized that. I knew he had led a lot.
There you see the 26 and 42 as you're watching this Autolite breakdown on the event, giving you an idea of how it's come to pass. We're at lap 277 now. The last 10 laps have been at car number 2. And there's a great story in this number 2. They called him for doing a little short braking out there on the start. That was the NASCAR call. They brought him in, penalized him, put him on the tail end of the field. He was about 25 car lengths from getting lapped, circulated around, fought his way through. And there's Rick Wilson, snubbed up that 44 considerably.
Kenny, we've got Randy Pemberton down in the pits, the 2 pits. Let's see what they think about what's been happening.
Well, I can tell you guys, you talk about 25 car lengths from being lapped for Rusty. Look who's about 12 car lengths from getting lapped by Rusty. It's Dale Earnhardt. Buddy Parrott, Rusty Wallace's crew chief came over and said, go get him. Put him a lap down. They're talking championship points.
He's like, put him on down, get him.
Earnhardt's running 10.
Earnhardt's just been hauling his own, though. He's not letting Wallace get anywhere near him.
Those cars are 1 lap down. They want to put him in that group.
Kyle Petty's lost a couple spots.
Win, but he's also racing for that championship.
Rudd started towards around the 20th spot, so he's gained spots, and he seems to have gotten faster as the race has gone along.
Points behind him in third, followed by Dale Jarrett and Morgan Shepherd in the top 5. Then Kyle Petty, Schrader, Irvin, Jeff Bodine, and Jeff Gordon rounding out the top 10. So Earnhardt working on him pretty hard now. Get him a lap down.
Yeah, if they can get him a lap down in the caution. Right now, if the caution comes out, Earnhardt is almost sure to be in 10th because he's the last guy on the lead lap. If they get him this lap down, the caution comes out, he's got 6 more cars he's got to fight all night long to hold that position. So it's critical for Rusty to get up there and do that.
Ooh, look at that.
Skirmish. There's the 5 car down to the bottom.
Looked like the 26 was held up a little bit by the 30, and here comes Rudd.
At 282, this struggle going on.
Y'all, as I showed y'all earlier in the stream, got Jeff Gordon's shirt on. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but wearing the Jeff Gordon shirt.
raced hard all night long.
He has worked his way into the top 10.
Look at Jeff Gordon right there in 7th. Kyle Petty's right behind him in 8th.
Jeff Gordon was really good at Richmond in his career. He won there, I think, a couple times, but not very often. But he was always really strong at Richmond.
Looked like he had something for the leaders. I think they've changed around a little bit. He's off the pace a little bit.
Kyle Petty's in 8th. The 9th car is Terry Labonte, the Kellogg's car.
Almost 100 to go.
In 10th is Earnhardt. He was the last car in that.
Yeah, this has been a long, long green flag run. I'm telling you. Terry Labonte's actually 9th. I did not realize that. I knew he was somewhere in the top 15. Gant's a lap down at 11th, so only 10 cars on the lead lap. But Strickland's 15th, not bad. Wally Dawn back 16th. Schrader lost the lap because he had to come back down pit road after his pit stop, the original pit stop. Jarrett's 2 laps down first. I thought he was 1 lap down.
By Rusty Wallace, defending champion.
Greg Sachs is now out of the race.
Wallace having a little trouble getting through there. Schrader making a good move.
Ken, we just kind of called the
fence. They finally pulled Jeff Bodine back behind him. Well, I knew he had problems, but I didn't realize he was out of the race.
And look at this struggle continue.
Rudd finally clearing the 26
Brett
of
Bodine. And give 5th place back to Ricky Rudd. Ricky Rudd back around Brett Bodine and Jeff Gordon.
So they had 3 Bodines in this race. Todd, Jeff, and Brett. The only Bodine still on the track is the 26.
It's a 4-way deal.
Of Brett.
First, but a report, Neil Bonnet passing on that he's got a bad set of tires.
That was Mark Martin. They say Mark Martin's got a bad set. I'm sorry,
Martin's got a bad set of tires.
And he's dropping off the pace a little bit.
You're on board with Mark Martin. Oh, it's just a bad time to have that happen. Trying to win that 5th in a row. Remember when Gant Neil was going, he won 4 in a row, was going 5, and he was, he was less than 10 laps from 5 in a row back in 91 when he lost his brakes and Earnhardt passed him for the win. What was North Wilkesboro, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was North Wilkesboro, but let me tell you, they were so good in that Cameron Greer deal, he almost won the race anyway with no brakes. He led it for a long time.
Earnhardt taking 9th from Terry Labonte. I always like that 14 Kellogg scheme. I actually have a diecast of that.
Drove that race. I sat home and watched it on the TV, and it was incredible because you knew he'd run out of brakes. They were reporting that, and he just
kept
never missed
the race.
A lick.
Never missed a beat.
No.
Just as long as nobody stops in front of you, all right. But that's a terrible feeling right along and nothing on that pedal.
Wallace has extended his lead over Martin.
Became a great driver that he was is because in the old days didn't have the kind of braking systems.
Thank y'all again for tuning into the stream. For those watching right now, I really appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new.
So Wallace is first.
Hope y'all are enjoying this race reaction, and I've been going through many different years in NASCAR and watching races from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Probably do a 2000s one soon. But I've done multiple race reactions over the last 2 years. But if you have any suggestions for me to watch, let me know.
Where you can always get it your way, right away. I love this place.
300 laps will be complete this time by. That means
100 to go.
5 miles to go, 100 laps to finish it. And here at Richmond International Raceway, PBS pleased to bring you the Miller 400 tonight. You're watching live as Rusty Wallace is now leading Mark Martin. Martin had built up a lead that seemed insurmountable. He seemed bulletproof. But for the moment, the interval between Martin in second place and this man, Rusty Wallace, stands at 3 3/10 of a second. Oh, we got a spinner in turn.
Oh, we got a car around. That's Sterling Marlin.
He's trying to gather it back up.
And it'll probably be our first caution, or not first caution, but fourth caution of the race. First one in a while. Racing back to the flag here.
Back to the line comes Rusty Wallace, the leader.
Comfortably Wallace in the lead.
Wallace was trying
Earnhardt stays on the lead lap. And yeah, he looks like he got loose, probably looped it and then did a full loop and hit the outside wall. That's what I think happened.
Let's take a look and replay.
Oh, we got replay of it. Maybe he had some help.
We see the 8 car, Sterling Marlin there.
The 26 got into him.
It gets together. 26 tapped him in the
Jeff Gordon squeaking by on the outside.
Were able to go around.
So Marlin actually didn't hit the wall, but looked like he already had a little bit of damage from something before.
They're coming either side of him now. He's all the way up
Yeah,
there.
just did a spin and
Boy, it got scary because he stayed
couldn't
out
get
there
back
for a
going
while.
again.
Now Sterling Marlin, that won't bother him. He'll
Pit
just fire it up and
stops.
get back in here.
Pit stop.
Flat spotted some tires. There's the leader in. Let's go to Dick Burke.
Rusty Wallace really didn't want this pit stop, Ken Squire. The car was running absolutely perfectly. Rusty Wallace radioed back, don't change anything, give me the same tires.
Let's see if he can keep the lead off pit road.
Also listening to Roger Penske, who has been telling him, run down low. Go get him. You know who him is.
Quick stop.
Randy.
Mark Martin is
Probably going to get out before Martin. Yep, there he goes.
With about 1.5 rounds of wedge out. Mark had a little bit of a push. They
wedge adjustment.
A little air pressure. Maybe not. I never saw a wedge wrench go in at all, so I did not see any wedge taken out of that car.
I'm not believing this. They changed 4 tires.
Bill Elliott got out in front of Martin. And Petty seemed to have a slower stop.
Oh, yeah. It really slowed her down. But, 19 seconds used to be the gauge.
Now lap cars are coming into pit road.
Rest of the field coming in. We're under caution. They have the
Rader was running really good until he had that mistake. He pretty much left I forgot what it's called, but he left it in the top of the back window.
Coming around to restart the race at lap 307. Wallace is first.
How about we eat something? I got an apple today for what I'm eating on the day.
It's Brett Bodine in 8th.
Eat healthy, y'all.
Terry Labonte is in 10th. 1 lap down in 11th is Gant. 12th is Bobby Labonte. Rick Mast is 13th. Schrader is 14th. 2 laps down.
Green flag. And Walsh was back in 2nd. And Walsh did not jump a restart this time.
Another good pit stop by the Walsh crew. A brilliant pit stop by the
Elliott's in 3rd. Martin 4th. Rudd 5th. Gordon 6th.
That recently black flag at 21 into 1, I think they said it was for passing on the inside on the restart. So some of those guys will be coming in.
Wallace has led 110 308 laps so far.
That's a 22 into 1, Ken. They called both of those guys. Labonte had a good run going, and they passed on the inside. They're going to bring him in.
Numbers up on the board for 22. You see Gant, that last car, in the 11th spot down on the bottom, trying to fight his way back into this thing. Mark Martin on board the 4th place car down the main chute.
What's going to be interesting with this to see if this set of tires works as well as all of his other ones have.
Elliott trying to get to the outside of Walker for 2nd. Here's Derek Copes on board. And my ears hurt having the headphones on so long today.
On the outside. Up the front of his car. He's up on that outside line.
Still side by side for 2nd.
It's Elliott on the outside. Walter down low. Here comes Martin into it. Back straight away.
The outside lane, as I mentioned earlier, seems to be the way to go in this race, and it really has been. I mean, the inside lane is usually the best lane at Richmond, but for this race, it's been the outside lane.
Bill Elliott 2nd. Pontiac 1st.
Gant, who's a lap down, he's passing Walter. The average speed is 102 miles an hour. The race record is 104. At the time, it's probably like 110 now.
That's the one coming down pit road.
Labonte Terry back underneath Earnhardt here. I think that's the battle for 10th. Earnhardt really shut the door on him there. Nice move.
In and out of that stop and go. Earnhardt is okay. Continuing out there. In 10th spot. In the lead lap. Holding on. Look at the struggle for 2nd position. Elliott there. Martin trying to take away.
And while this is going on, Rusty Wallace has got clear sailing out front. He's getting a little bit of distance on these guys while they're doing this run. We see Mark close it down, getting in that corner.
Randy Pemberton is in the Mark Martin pits. Let's get a report.
Steve Neal had a bad set of tires last time. Did you make any other adjustments, and can you catch Rusty?
We changed the tire pressure around, and these radial tires react that real good. Right now, we got to get by the 11. There's a bunch of good cars behind us. Rusty's real stout. He's got clear track. He's probably got an advantage right now. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, good luck. Dick Berggren?
Well, Buddy Parrott, how do you play it from here?
Buddy Paris took critique of Wallace at the time.
We got a good car on long runs. I just hope we don't have to go another one of those. Greg Wallace just timed us at a 16:68 that last pit stop, and I hope we don't have to do that to him one more time.
Martin underneath Elliott.
I'd like to wish my
can't quite get there.
Look at this fight. Second spot. There you see that 11, Bill Elliott, and right with him comes Martin again in this struggle for second position.
Finn Squire, one of the greatest announcers of all time. He's on the call for this race with Neil Bonnet.
Take a spot away from Bill Elliott, a 39-time.
Rudd's right behind Waltrip now. See if Rudd can get by him. It's gone faster as the race has gone along.
Just in front of them, you see Bobby Labonte's number 22. Boy, remember he was up on the pole. He's back in 13th, a lap down from the leaders.
Yeah, that deal they just black flagged and it cost him. He came in, he came right back out. There's Junior Johnson watching Elliott. Best run they've had all the time.
Will that string be broken tonight? Number 6, Martin, who just joined us, has won 4 Winston Cup races in a row. Here's a battle between 4th and 5th. Waltrip has it for the moment. Rudd in number 5.
Ken Schrader was right behind Jeff Gordon, but he's a lap down, if not 2.
The last 7 races, 3 Grand National and 4 Winston Cup events that Mark Martin
and Rudd makes the pass.
He's come home the winner. But Winston Cup racing,
Waltrip's still in top 5.
1971. Has won 5 in a row, and that's what Martin is attempting to do tonight. But
hey, there's the fans. I think someone had Davey Allison signed there.
Like a toughie now with 320 laps complete.
80 to go.
And Rusty Wallace, who came from almost a lap down, made it up. And he's scratching, biting, fighting his way around turn number 4 out in front. Has himself an advantage about 12 car lengths.
Yeah, this right here with the 6-car battling with Bill Elliott. Both of these guys will run each other really hard. Rusty just sitting out there cruising away. So it's going to, if he gets much distance on it, it's going to be hard for him to make it up.
321 complete. This is the battle for the moment. It continues between Bill Elliott and Mark Martin as Rusty Wallace continues on his way toward.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of long green flag stints in this race, and Wallace here pulling away. Looks like he's the favorite unless the caution comes out, but Rudd has been really fast. Martin's been really fast. Darrell Waltrip led some earlier.
Had to fight hard all evening. Mark Martin had a dominant car earlier, but Wallace has been setting the pace here the last many laps, and it looks like he may have this one, well, not quite in the bag yet, but getting close to that point.
They're showing the next race in Charlotte.
Check the Sears Craftsman race schedule for you tonight at the STP Center on TBS. We'll be at Charlotte the weekend of October 9th and 10th. Winston Cup action on Sunday. The Mellow Yellow 500. Hope you can join us at 1 o'clock in the afternoon from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be here live on TBS. I want to show you something. You don't think these race cars hit the wall hard? This is a brake rotor that was on the
Oh, look at that.
car. Remember the first caution tonight much earlier? Shepard popped the wall in the second corner. This isn't what caused it. This is the result from it. This is a steel brake rotor. This is the aluminum hub. The brake rotor chunked badly when Morgan hit the wall. It took him a long time. They fixed the car. He's back on the racetrack, but
that's
a
interesting.
$100 piece that was trashed in that crash, gentlemen.
Jeff Gordon's trying to get by Petty, but here comes Earnhardt. I think Earnhardt's running in 7th or 8th.
And look coming here, looks like Earnhardt has picked up just a little bit. He got around Waltrip. He was 10th.
Maybe a late race charge, we'll see.
7th place, so he's starting to move up a little bit. The leaders are checking out up there.
How much can you buy those rotors for these
Earnhardt's
days?
7th, actually.
The rotor's about 100.5.
Jeff Gordon's 5th. Kyle Petty 6th.
But I mean, after a race like this,
Earnhardt blew by Petty like it was nothing.
You could put a regular brake pad on them, and they won't stop good. You put a metal pad, it stops good, but it wears the rotor out in a hurry.
Earnhardt's the man on the move for the moment. Finds himself in 7th. Tell you, the guy that's backed up has been Waltrip. Darrell is back into 9th in that car 17.
Ken, I almost question,
Well, I didn't even notice that Darrell lost a lot of spots there. I thought Waltrip was 5th, but apparently not. He's losing ground. So, something's going wrong.
See Bodine right there in 10th, trying to get by him right now. Jimmy Means down on the inside. No sponsorship on the Means car. We'll find something soon. Here's Waltrip in the 17. Brett Bodine coming after him. Schrader running a lap down. Actually, 2 laps down, is in 14th. And here comes Brett Bodine again to the inside in that Quaker State car. Works it down to the bottom and closes in on Darrell Waltrip.
Still 10 cars on the lead lap. I wonder if Wallace is going to lap more cars here, or anyone lap more cars. We'll see. I mean, it's still 60-some to go. I could definitely see it happening. Because Wallace is ahead by like 4 seconds over second place Bill Elliott.
335 laps complete.
There's Waltrip still having a little trouble going back through. Either got a mismatched set of tires or he went for 2 because something's really dropped him off.
Let's go back up front. Here's Dick Berggren.
Interesting story on the lead car, Ken Squire. They're calling it a brand new race car, and in most ways it really is. It's got a new front flip, new body, new back end. This is the first race it's run like that. But the very center of the car, the roll cage, that was the very first roll cage they ever built when Roger Penske came to Winston Cup Racing with Rusty Wallace. That roll cage with a front clip and back clip had all sat in the shop for a long while, years. They were going to restore it, make a museum piece out of it. Rusty said, that's nice. Let's make a race car out of it. Well, I bet he likes that roll cage even better now because they are pulling away from second place.
Some museum piece. Look at this battle for second spot. Martin is there, a couple of Fords whipping on each other here. They're 2 2/10 of a second down.
Martin's been trying to get by Elliott for like the last 30 laps, just hasn't been able to get it done. And side by side multiple times.
Back here, the further he's going to get away from him, they're going to have one of them going to make a quick pass and get back in line and go. The rest is going to stretch it out even more.
Martin tried to square that first turn, and you saw that car take an extra bite to get around there, and that gave the advantage back for a moment to Elliott. Right back comes Martin again on the bottom side.
Early in the race, this car was capable of just passing anyone. Like now, he really drove the car down hard in the corner.
And you're dead on. It was 2 3/10 of a second between the first and these two squared off for second. Now it's down to back to 2.7. Not down, but back.
Yeah, Ken, they're losing almost a half a second a lap by running each other hard here. But I mean, they're racing for second place. First thing you got to do is beat this guy, then worry about the next one.
So at the moment, Elliott has that position back. He's the second, Martin the third, Rudd the fourth. We were talking about Darrell Waltrip and his trials and tribulations. Let's find out what the story is on car 17. Dick Berggren.
Well, guys, we're here on the Mark Martin pit. You can see behind me this crew member is adjusting the tire pressure in Mark's cars. This was the problem with Darrell Waltrip. They're trying to adjust his tire pressure to get so he can run with Rusty and run with Mark. Now, Mark's having a little problem with his pressure. They're going to change it. The problem with Darrell's was he put the pressure up, or the crew did, a little bit too high on the right side, and they're just having a dickens of a time with it right now. So a little tire pressure problem with them. They do everything with tire pressure now because they can't change springs, and it's very difficult to adjust these cars with wedge now. So a lot with tire pressures with these Goodyear tires.
Hold the phone, Randy. Here comes Ricky Rudd. Rudd up to third. Martin.
Wow, so Rudd, as I mentioned earlier, he started farther back and has been really on the move the last 150 laps. He's now moved into third by Mark Martin.
They ran those cars that hard, the 6 and the 11. They really abused him. Here comes Rudd. He's going to take advantage of that. He jumped on him.
If the rest of the race goes green, I don't see anyone catching Wallace.
Rudd in third place.
But we'll see. We could have another yellow. We'll see.
345 laps are complete. Wallace
Almost
first,
50 to go.
Rudd now third. It's Martin in fourth, Gordon in fifth, Earnhardt in sixth, Terry Labonte in seventh, Kyle Petty in eighth, Brett Bodine in ninth, and Darrell Waltrip on the tail end of the lead lap.
Ken, we keep hearing talk about tire pressure, tire pressure. What that tire pressure does is actually changes spring rate, the sidewall of the tire. They use that for spring, the softness or the hardness of the air pressure. Lets that tire work as a spring. They're playing around with it a lot. You either hit on it or, boy, you're out in left field. And some
Average speed almost at the race record, not quite. About 1 mile per hour off.
Here he comes after Bill Elliott.
I said about. So the average race record at the time was the average speed. The race record at the time was like 104. I'm gonna look after we finish watching this. I'm gonna look and see who had the record at the time. The 104 who set that. If I were to guess, it was probably Richard Petty, but we'll see. Because Petty won a good bit at Richmond. I know he won a lot at Martinsville.
Rusty and his crew saying no cautions, no cautions. They'd like to see this thing go green. Caution change the whole complexion of this thing.
Wallace is on a different zip code right now. For those that probably came in late, Wallace led early and then he jumped a restart, got black flag, had to go back down pit road under green, and was down to like 26 at one point, and then came back and took the lead about like 70 laps ago, 50 laps ago.
That's been something I did my whole life. I feel like if you're going to be a consistent driver, not a driver that hits 1 week and then runs crappy for 3 or 4 weeks after that, you got to be a driver that can set the cars up and understand the chassis completely, so you can be a consistent driver. And I really love working with the chassis part of it.
Ken, I can't help but think that goes back to those ASA days, those little short tracks running around all over the country.
Always like Richmond night races in September and August. I mean, the 2000s Richmond was really good too. It's hard to say whether the 90s or 2000s Richmond races were better, but I probably have to go with 2000s. Just a lot of classic races from the 2000s at Richmond. There's some I can name out, like 2003 had a really good race there. 2002, 2001 was a really fun one. Oh, Rudd clipped Cope, and he's in the inside wall. Wow, I did not see that coming. But the car carrying the in-car view is in the inside wall, and that will bring out a caution here. So, I mean, he was in the way, but still, that's huge. I'm sure Wallace is not happy to see that yellow flag come out. Not too much damage, actually. I thought there'd be more damage than that, but he did hit the inside wall with the left side, right side, not left side. Yeah, there's some damage to that car.
Go down in the corner here.
Yep, he was racing with 11. Elliott was trying to use him as a pick. Rudd, who's been faster than a lot of the other cars, was like, all right, I need to get by you. Just moves them and ends up wrecking them. So big developments here. It looks like this could be the final pit stops here, because they're under 50 to go.
They said they didn't want to have to put
so you can get off pit road first.
See if they do it right here. Just said a while ago,
I was just talking about great Richmond races in the 2000s for the fall race. The 2006 race was really good. Mayfield won that. It was the first, not 2006. It was either 2004 or 2006 that they had the chase race at Richmond that Mayfield won. And then 2011 was chaotic. Oh! Earnhardt gets in the run off pit road. Wow, so Rudd came out of the pits right in front of Earnhardt, and Earnhardt did not care.
He's like, we do not care.
And just runs into him. That's going to cost Rudd some spots, actually. Unless they give him a spot. That's a lot of damage, too, so big turn of events under this caution flag. Rudd turns Cope, and then on pit road, Earnhardt coming out of pit road, trying to avoid Waltrip, hits Ricky Rudd. So Rudd now has a lot of damage. Earnhardt probably has some damage to the right front. Jeff Gordon got out before Martin did, so Gordon's now fourth. This is gone crazy, y'all. We may see a crazy finish here.
Okay, there's Earnhardt over beside Rusty Wallace. I'm sure he's asking Rusty, take a look at that right front. Let me know what that thing looks like. Earnhardt got hit on the right front when he made that contact, and somebody like Rusty, he'll look over and say, hey, you need to go in the pits and get that thing fixed. Okay?
That definitely was. I did not see that coming. That's wild.
There you see The damage on Ricky Rudd's car number 5, just back there in that lower panel behind the door.
See, wiggle that car real hard, Ken. What he's wanting to see if it sets down. It looked to me
Yeah,
as
it's
though
been a
when
while
he
for
wiggled
Rudd
it, that
since
quarter
he
pound
last
set down
won
on
a
top of
short
that
track
tire.
race.
If that's the case, that thing will wear
I'm
on top of
correct,
that tire.
Rudd
Hold on,
won
you
the
gotta careful.
Michigan
They
race
gotta
in
make a choice.
'93,
We
the
come in
Miller
and correct
Genuine
that
Draft
problem or
400
something
at
with it.
Michigan. They had 2 races named the
He's
Miller
doing it with a
Genuine
crew.
Draft
Take a look as he
400
goes down.
in
See if it bottoms out on
1993.
that tire.
Crew looking on to see if they should bring him in or not. How about that 3 car? Did that take any damage?
This late in the race, it's kind of hard to make the call here whether to stay out or not. You have a fast car, but that may have damage to handling. That's going to be an interesting call to see what they do here.
Let's take a look at the right front on Earnhardt's. We can see that's the area that hit on his car. Looks like most of the lick was on the tire itself.
No, just right in.
That's a pretty hard hit coming off the pit road, though.
The question is the toe out. Is that off when they take a lick like that on the
Seems like his steer's okay.
Looks like maybe both of them just have body damage. The spotters on top of the pit road, they're looking at TV. They want to see themselves if that right front's rubbing.
Yeah, that's right. They're saying, we don't want to see ourselves. We want to see that race car. Get that thing out.
So we should be going back to green here around 40 to go.
Front so we can see what we got.
Well, this is happening in lap 356. We're under caution. Rudd collected Derek Cope. Send him spinning out of turn number 2. Brought out the 5th caution. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Richard
Childress.
Well, Richard Childress, Andy Petrie, all the guys, they're watching the monitor. They like a nice tight shot of the right front of it. We've done it for other teams before. It's television. They're trying to figure out if that right front is rubbing. It was difficult. They're saying it's close. It's like a huddle. They said, we'll take a look. I think they're going to let him go. They're going to leave it like it is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the right call here to stay out.
Like when he pulled up to Rusty and was asking him, was that right front rubbing? Looks like they decided to go with it. Rudd could questionable on the left rear of his, so both of them are going to take the chance, see if they can go.
So Wallace is restarting in the lead. Elliott's second. Earnhardt's third. Gordon's fourth. Mark Martin is fifth.
Getting that shot. Those folks were getting a good look at what that number 3 looked like. I guess they're going to leave him out. Indeed, Neil, that seems to be the story as they get organized. Pace cars coming in at lap 358. We go green. Down for a start.
Back green.
On the break. Wallace first.
Green means
Elliott
go.
second, Earnhardt third. Gordon fourth.
As they're going around the lap cars on the inside of the lane. Earnhardt went a little high in 1 and 2, lost some ground to Elliott.
Wallace trying to get away. After him comes Elliott. Elliott fades a bit high.
Elliott's holding pretty strong here in second. Big gap now between him and Earnhardt as he's closing in on Wallace.
He had a third of Pocono in July. Of course, he won the last race of the 1992 season at Atlanta. Takes place in November. Always a good one.
Boy, Elliott staying right there with Rusty.
Yeah, but Elliott's closing in on him. He's been fast. He started towards the back, but he's been fast all race. He even led at some point.
27 car who was running 15, but here's the struggle, and it's for the lead.
I don't see when else catching Wallace and Elliott. Well, I mean, Waltrip's farther on back. He's had some problems the last 50 laps. Martin's mired back in traffic.
Slows down dramatically. Gordon coming down in 5th spot. Drops all the way back through traffic onto the rear. Something missed there.
I think what happened.
He's probably just trying to get out of their way. He's trying to be like, okay, we have a good spot here. We're in 5th. Let's just take it easy, not damage the car. So smart move there.
361 complete.
And he's probably not. Earnhardt wouldn't let him by. So I don't see Gordon getting by Earnhardt. Earnhardt is in 3rd. Now, the car battle for lead, Earnhardt, after the bad restart, is gained back on the top 2. Trying to get by Elliott. Maybe tapped him there.
Raceway, defending champion of this event, Rusty Wallace, for the moment had the lead. Bill Elliott is there, knocking on the door. Darrell Waltrip has just faded back dramatically. Came up in the corner, and the car just slid back, well back. Randy?
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Waltrip's been struggling the last 50 or so laps. Yeah, look at that.
I think it was Brett Ladine, so he got a little popped, and it was the same thing with Jeff Gordon. You got to remember, we're 30 laps from the finish of this race, and these guys are going at it. That's all there is to it. So they got together a little bit. Darrell shot up the track.
Waltrip's being shown in 10th spot. We're back with you live, and we're watching put a lap on Bobby Hill and up in
See,
front.
Rudd's probably still in the top 8. Just don't know where he is exactly.
It's Dale Earnhardt.
Martin's in 4th, no surprise. Gordon's 5th.
Wonder if we can get a word with Johnny Hayes. I understand he was down there just before the race when they were making final preparations on that Junior Johnson car number 11. And I think it's a remarkable story, Neil. John, are you there? Johnny Hayes?
Yes, Ken, I'm here.
What was the story with Junior just before this thing started tonight?
Well, I was visiting with Junior, congratulating him about his new baby. All of a sudden, Mike Beam walked in and he said, listen,
look at Junior.
The car will not
he looks a little bit
in the
conservative at the same time.
Bill's not happy with it.
He's like, he has his standard look there. I don't know. He just doesn't look like he's happy or upset, you know?
The whole thing. And Mike said,
I'm sure he's pleased with the run that they're having, considering how far they start back and the way they've worked their way up.
Is still the man.
Yeah, you can see how excited. You know, we're propped
There's
up,
the crew chief.
up his hand in his pocket. Never gets too excited.
They pulled back away from Earnhardt again.
It's one of the best performances that they had this year. Just a length and a half off Rusty Wallace.
Okay, so 28 to go.
374 coming around for 25.
Petty's got by Gordon for 5th.
3 of Rusty Wallace's.
And Gordon actually lost 4 spots. I didn't realize that. I thought Gordon was in 5th, but apparently he's now in 9th. Still 10 cars on the lead lap. I'm surprised Schrader hasn't passed Rick Masti yet.
Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, there's Earnhardt, and then there's Harry in between them. Here's Mark Martin. He's got Gann in between him and Earnhardt, but I thought he would really be able to close in on this restart. He's still struggling just a little bit. He's not back like he was at the first of the race.
Marlin spun earlier, bringing out a caution. He is 26.
Right there. Meanwhile, Elliott continues to put the pressure on.
So let's see here. I mean, Wallace has been really strong. It's going to be hard to get by him.
Martin's within striking distance. Bobby Hillen giving a V-shot from further back in the field.
Really cool camera view.
I'll tell you, Hillen being shown, excuse me, Neil, but he's in 24th position with these pictures.
You know, right there, Elliott really closed in on Martin earlier, and then Earnhardt got after Elliott pretty hard, lost some distance. It looked like Martin's out. Elliott's able to come right back up on Rusty again now.
Oh, he got closer that lap. Almost to his rear bumper.
Don't want you to forget.
Elliott will race you hard. He doesn't move people out of the way very often, so
Saturday,
let's see if he uses the bumper here.
And Sunday, October the 10th, 500 at Charlotte. Yellow race, always a dandy at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 1.5 miles. Love that racetrack. And this Richmond track, my how it grows. Year after year, they just keep putting the money right back into it and improving it. Had a big golf course event this week, raised thousands of dollars for charities here in Enrico County. Now tonight, as we mentioned earlier, every seat was sold out in April. The only question is how many more seats can they add for next year to take care of the people that want to be here.
Yeah, they might be sold out, but nobody cares.
Earnhardt's still in 3rd. There's Schrader. I was talking about him earlier. He's trying to take away 11th, or no, he's trying to take away 12th from Mass. There's Rudd, who got spun by Earnhardt coming out pit road.
Is in 6th.
He's got a lot of damage on the left rear.
Just behind him is Brett Bodine. Ricky Rudd, who was a real factor, then got spun on pit road. After he had collected Derek Cope out of turn 2. From Richmond Raceway, great aerial shots being provided by Ray Vestas. We've got a crash.
Oh, we got a crash?
384 laps complete, so we're down to the
that was
final
a weird
moment.
cut.
Dregs of it, but they're pretty interesting ones tonight. There has been a caution. There was an incident in the main straightaway. You're riding Bobby Hillen.
So
he's coming down the main straightaway, and there you see the car
Uh-oh.
of Dick
He's trying to figure out where to go.
pedigree dog food car. Here's Hillen after
There's
that
Dick Trickle that's spun around on the front.
and they just barely touched right there. And now they're back
So
out
he
again.
did crash, but it wasn't much of a crash. That's the first time I've ever seen the sponsor pedigree on a car. I knew Kyle Busch had pedigree for years, but I didn't realize Dick Trickle had pedigree as a sponsor. So things you learn every day, you know. Sold out crowd, beautiful track under the lights.
It's been out for 3-4 laps now, and at lap 386,
the way he's going, I was surprised that there's another caution.
The guys that were lapped down, they put fresh tires on. They didn't have anything to lose. Now they're going to be quicker than the leaders. Remember, so they're going to be possibly in the way, not in the way, but they're going to be quick as the leaders are quicker.
Atlanta and San Diego tied in the bottom of the second.
Back green here.
We'll see the last game of that series tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, here on TBS. We're underway. Final moment.
Oh, Gann and Earnhardt here to get together. Yeah, we got a pile up. So, and then there's Hillen that runs into Gann. Wow. I knew something wasn't going to work. If we're going to get to turn 1, it looked like Gann was going to find front of Earnhardt, and Earnhardt was going to cross over, and they got together. So Earnhardt's not making any friends out here today. But a lot of damage to Hillen. He wasn't running bad, but he was a couple laps down. Just can't catch a break. A lot of wrecks for him in his career.
Yeah, Gant was sitting in the racetrack, and
then Gant slid there. Everyone's checking up. Nowhere for Hillen to go.
Bobby Hillen. Yeah, he's okay in the car. He's moving around.
And he's got it fired. Here's Gant's number 33. He got sideways. Remember, he was one of those cars that made that tire change. I think he may have got clipped going in.
Yeah, just a lot of rear damage for Gant. He's probably going to lose a lap or two trying to get repairs.
Here it is again.
Got a replay.
Here they go in the corner.
So Gant was down the inside lane. Earnhardt just flat up ran into him.
Gets up into Elliott.
Doesn't get any. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see where Hillen comes from.
Then he is. Everyone trying to avoid him. Nowhere for Hillen to go. As we saw the onboard view live, like he couldn't see Gant. Like he had no chance or time to react, especially when you're going that fast.
Car number 33. Hillen's night is over. The hook is out for him. So now we're at lap 388. I'm sure we're going to get back green before this one's over as we watch Kyle Petty coming out.
How about a 10-lap heat race on Saturday night? We're fixing to have it for the
maybe
win.
a 5? In-car look at that wreck from Bobby Hillen's vantage point. Ooh, this is going to sting.
Yeah, this is going down to the first turn right here.
Yeah, here's another view of the onboard. He first runs into the 41, so I didn't realize he went around. Everyone's just trying to get by. He darts the inside, couldn't see anything, then there's Gant. Hensley was in front of Hillen there. But look at him, he's like rough.
Car really took a shot.
Yeah, that'll give you a headache right there, I promise you.
Real time from the in-car. Listen to
Oh,
this.
real time. Okay, so we got full speed. Oof.
I remember a few
Yeah,
of those.
nowhere to go.
Thank goodness Bobby wasn't hurt. It looked like he might have a nice little headache this afternoon, tomorrow. But no more damage than that, baby.
So we're going to have a restart here with less than 11 to go.
So there will be less.
A lot of cautions here. There was a huge green flag run earlier on in the race for over 100 or so laps. We had 3 cautions in the first like 100, and then for a while it was clean, and then the last like 60 laps we've had 3 or 4 cautions.
When we get green, we have Rusty Wallace in the lead, trying to win it for 2 years in a row. It'll be Elliott in second.
I think he's saying 1 to go here.
Rudd is closing up on 4th. Then comes Mark Martin in 5th. Gordon.
So we're going to have 10-lap shootout for the win at Richmond.
Labonte will be 7th. Darrell Waltrip in 8th. Brett Bodine in 9th. Don't go away. This is going to get interesting. Kyle Petty in 10th. 10 cars in a sprint. A typical.
Ricky Rudd is now 4th. He got by Martin.
Only instead of being the short track
running into each other under the caution. And Ricky Rudd got spun earlier by Earnhardt coming out pit road, so let's see if Rudd returns the favor as Martin is behind Rudd in 5th.
The light is off on the pace car. We're ready to go racing. As they take green, there will be
back
9
green.
laps remaining. Wallace makes a beautiful start.
Huge start by Wallace. I don't know if he jumped that or not. I don't think he did, as he did earlier in the race. And Earnhardt had a good run on Elliott. Ooh, almost 3 wide there.
Well, Rusty got a good jump, but look at Elliott reeling back in.
Locked on the rear bumper. Number 11, Elliott, Pontiac first. Ford second, Chevy third. Standing room only crowd, standing all the way here in these last few laps. 10 cars in the lead lap. Can Wallace stay there?
Elliott was able to close that gap up. Catching a guy is one thing, but passing him on this size racetrack when 2 cars are pretty evenly matched, it's going to be tough.
7 to go.
There's Earnhardt closing in on the bumper of Bill Elliott. If these 2 guys get going at it, Rusty's looking at that mirror and saying, have at it, guys. Y'all race all you want to race. There's Elliott, slid out just a little bit getting in that corner. Slipped a little bit. There's Earnhardt down the inside. Elliott's car just sparked up off that corner, pulled him way off the corner.
Earnhardt to the bottom.
Oh, Earnhardt may have gotten into Elliott there to move him up the track, trying to get second.
Oh, sideways out of 2 comes Bill Elliott.
They're battling like it's for the lead here. Battling for second.
Lails it down into turn number 3, stays on the outside. 5 to go.
They go down in the corner side by side. Elliott's car gets a good run up off the corner here over time.
Not giving much ground. Got a crash up in turn number 4.
Oh, we got another caution.
This could be the race back for second place.
Dick Trickle.
As they come
I think that's our 8th caution of the race. Elliott beats Earnhardt back.
Elliott next.
Let's see, will we have another restart here?
Followed by Dale Earnhardt.
I tell you what, the pace car better be
Yeah,
fast.
Trickle definitely hit the outside wall.
Down on the bottom. It backed to the wall, and that one got snubbed up considerably.
I tell you what, he's got it moving.
Probably came down the track on somebody or got spun out.
To finish this thing on the green.
This could end the race here, actually, because there's only 4 to go.
Back in position, so as soon as this 39 car gets around, they'll go green. There's 1 to go this time, so
1 to go this time, so that's crazy. So they're just like, oh, we don't care. We're just going to go and restart without cleaning the track, probably. There's fans already leaving to beat the traffic. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting here.
No, that's right, there'll be 2 that come by.
3 to go, so it'll be a 2 to go, 2-lap shootout for the win.
2-lap shootout for 700.
All the cars in the back might even lined up.
Yep, I would say you just kind of do what you got to do this next couple of laps.
Obviously, NASCAR, they want to finish the race under green. So, it's going to be interesting. We'll see if anyone can get by Wallace. See if Rudd might get back in Earnhardt. We'll see if Earnhardt can get by Elliott. Earnhardt got by Elliott at one part during that restart, but Elliott was stronger on the outside. So here we go. Final restart, more than likely here. Here we go.
North Carolina, 500 miles, the most competitive automobile racing in the world here on TV.
Earnhardt pushing Elliott there into turn 1.
Right there. Earnhardt goes up to the outside.
Elliott slides up the track, defends his spot.
Earnhardt thought he had a move up there.
Earnhardt trying to get to the inside. He's side by side with Ken Schrader.
Making up some ground. Back comes
Earnhardt really aggressive on this restart. Couldn't get to back bumper there. 1 to go.
1 to go.
Final lap.
Is there. Martin is
Looks like he's going to stay the front 2 unless Elliott gets a run here. He's gaining on him.
Down the back straightaway. It's Rusty Wallace in front. Elliott
off the final corner, it is going to be Wallace getting the victory. Second win in a row at the night race at Richmond. Really strong performance by Wallace. Another win to add on to his totals in 1993.
Come back he did. Rusty Wallace has done it. The Miller car, the
That was quite the race, to say the least. Got very dicey at the end.
Year has won their race. And a standing ovation from 70,000 for Missouri's Rusty Wallace.
Let me know your thoughts in the chat. What you would give it 1 out of 10. Personally, this race I'd probably give it like a 7. Honestly, I thought it was really, really entertaining. What's that fan doing there to Earnhardt? Earnhardt was in third, Rudd fourth. See, if, I wonder if Rudd had to say anything to Earnhardt about that incident earlier and didn't say anything to Harry Can't. But Wallace doing the Polish victory lap around Richmond.
Second
the fans love it.
Elliott, third
No
to
one's
Earnhardt,
leaving, it
fourth
appears.
to Rudd, fifth to Martin, sixth to Bodine, seventh to...
Skip ahead and see if they have an interview here. Yep, they do.
Picked him before the race.
Isn't that awesome?
But
Good
for
Rusty Wallace,
yes,
bad
sir.
for us.
Let me tell you, Rusty Wallace ran his guts out tonight to get to the front.
Randy, how about talking with the champion?
Wow, champ, that was something else right there. You're lucky you're up front. It got wild behind you. Great night for you, though.
Thank you very much. It was a good run for the whole
27th
crew.
crew win,
Hey,
6th
the
of
only
the
thing
year.
I hate is that I didn't have a 20.
Wallace won a lot in 1993, just couldn't capture the
thought goes out
championship,
with
but he was
both of 'em, I'll tell you
close.
that. But I'd like to thank our sponsors, Miller January Draft, Goodyear Tires, Mobile AC, Pontiac. Everything went good today. Pit crew was really good. Got down a lap early because of a misunderstanding, and they got it back, and everything turned out well.
So let bygones be bygones on that one. I mean, did you jump at start or brake check or anything?
No, not at all. It's just a misunderstanding on their part. They thought I hit the brakes and brake check, and I did not do that. But I can understand that people can make a mistake evidently.
It's been a year of streaks, Rusty. You early catching a bunch, and then you break Mark. So he had a chance to set a record here tonight. Didn't do it.
Yeah, Mark ran awful strong. You know, hey, you got to miss a little bit every now and then. I mean, for that guy to hit it 4 in a row, man, that was great. But it feels good to match my 89 record with 6 wins right now, 2 poles. We led a lot of laps today. This was a brand new car, and it ran real good. So we got a lot of good cars in the shop.
Where was Roger tonight?
Roger's here along with Rick Mears, and they're all up there. This was Rick's first stock car race, and I'm glad I was able to win for him. Real dramatic night for Penske Racing.
Congratulations, Rusty. Nice win. Dick Bergman with Bill Elliott.
And after such a tough season, how does second feel?
Very good. I mean, at least to see the front and be able to kind of race for it and stuff. I hated to see the last 2 cautions come out because I was trying to bide my time and save my tires, and I was watching Rusty and seeing where he was bad and good. But then when the cautions come out, Earnhardt would get a good run at us, and I had to race him a lap or 2 because, you know, my car wouldn't come around right off the bat, and it was just a tough situation there at the end.
26th to second. Is Bill Elliott back?
I hope so. I hope I never left.
How rough were those last few laps?
It was pretty tough because, you know, Earnhardt was fighting for his place, and I was trying to fight for my place, and then Rusty was just trying to drive his line around the racetrack, not mess up. But, you know, we gave it a good, strong run, and, you know, this gives definitely some good momentum for the rest of the year.
It was exactly what this team needed.
Absolutely.
Well, that's going to do it for the race. We're about to go check out the stats and see everyone finished in this race. Let's go check it out. (1993) race 23. Average speed ended up being 99 miles per hour. It did go down because of the wrecks. All right, so there's 8 cautions, 12 lead changes, 3 hours flat almost. Yep. So Bill Elliott, I knew he started farther back. He started 26, finished second, led 3 laps in the race. Mark Martin led 155 laps, but Rusty Wallace led the most with over half the race, 206. There's 10 cars in the lead lap. Jeff Gordon fell down to 10th at the end. He was 5th with around like 50 to go, and then he fell back. Martin actually lost 5th to Brett Bodine. Darrell Waltrip moved back up to 7th after having a little bit of issues. He led some in that race. So looking at some of these, Rick Mast fell down to 18th. Must have had something happen. Wally Dahlbeck started 30th, finished 15th, so he moved up a lot. Terry Labonte started 23rd, finished 8th. He's a big mover. But yeah, we kept track of where some of these guys were earlier. So yeah, so after the race, Earnhardt still had a big points lead. Rusty Wallace second behind. He's 284 back. Mark Martin third. I'm surprised Joe Jarrett was fourth on points at the time. I did not know that. Same thing with Morgan Shepherd. Did not realize he was in the top 5. So that's quite interesting. So let's get back here. Well, that's going to do it for the race reaction. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all so much for everyone who tuned in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know your thoughts down below. And hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Appreciate every one of y'all. It's another fun video to watch, race to watch, and looking forward to the next one. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, I'm